Name game.
Hello, everyone. Hello, it is I, Jabrez JP, and this is the Academic Foxhole. How are you all doing? What's new? What's exciting? I have things to share. I also have water, so that's good. I'm a donut eater. Yeah, I did. So look. Here's the thing. I'm not snobbish about donuts in the sense that if I were, I feel like that's too high. If I were snobbish about donuts, then I would say things like, only fancy McFancy Pants donuts is a good donut, and I'd mean like some kind of like hipster donut place, you know what I mean? Where the donuts cost $1,000 billion. But that's not true. Um, there is such a fancy hipster donut place not too far from me, and I hate those donuts. I think they're terrible. Um, they're like they're like really big. They're like, oh, look how big and giant our donuts are. But like, who wants to eat a really big donut when that donut is not very good? It's just, it's like, it's just not good. It's a bad donut. They're like, I would not eat those. I ate one once, and I got like an old fashioned glaze, which is a donut I quite enjoy. And I was like, this is terrible. You've taken a donut that I quite enjoy, and you've made me very sad about it because it was too what's a reverse snob when you hate fancy things and bonds? Because I'm that. Yeah, so I feel like I'm not. I think yeah, a bonds. That would be a bonds would be a reverse snob. It'd have to be a bonds. If you said it as if you were in a David Lynch movie, then that would be it. I don't know if I'm a full on bonds, but they're not good. Do you know what I mean? Like they're expensive and also not good. And then I've got a huge donut that tastes. It's too like they're weirdly dense, but also like they're just not good. You know what I mean? They're just not good. So I'm not a snob about donuts that I only have fancy donuts, but I'm picky about my donuts because a lot of those really fancy like trendy hipster donuts are not very good. But also I find Dunkin' Donuts mediocre. And like I'll eat one if it's like all I got, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, Dunkin' Donuts. You know what I mean? People say, well, you must love Krispy Kreme, and I don't love Krispy Kreme. I don't like them. I don't like them. I feel like the sugar to donut ratio is off, and I have an insane sweet tooth, and I just don't think they're very good either. I don't like them. But I found this place that's local called Honeydew Donuts, and they are exactly what I want. They're like a little local donut shop that just makes donuts in the morning. Do you know what I mean? And they're good. They're good. And so and they're also on Grubhub. So I was able to order like some donuts, and now I have donuts. And now everything is good in the world. Mm-hmm. Rissa knows. Strip mall donuts for the win. Yes, strip mall donuts are like the best donuts. And also, I'm going to note that Krellin agrees with me that Krispy Kremes are bad. Yeah. And look, I know a lot of people love Krispy Kremes, and they always say, well, you don't like them? I was like, no. I'm like, well, have you had them fresh? And I was like, I don't know. I've been to a place that had them, and then I ate them, and I did not like them. And they're like, well, you have to get them, you have to eat them when they come fresh out of the oven. Then they're delicious. And I was like, if me eating them a half hour after they come out of the oven means they're no longer delicious, then maybe they're not delicious. That's what I have to say. Chromatic, hello, Chromatic, says, I do not like them. I do not like them with coffee. I do not like them with eggs. No, I do not like Krispy Kreme donuts. I do not like them, Sam I am. Yeah, no, they're just, there's, the thing is, there's something, this is going to sound really weird, and what I'm going to say right now is not true, or maybe it is true. I don't know. Um, I think what I mean to say is, what I'm going to say, I actually think I'm meaning it metaphorically rather than like literally. But there's something about Krispy Kreme donuts that tastes like plastic to me. Now, I don't think I mean that literally, like it actually tastes like plastic, but there's something about it that reminds me of plastic when I eat it, as if there's something like, I don't know if any of you know what I'm talking about. Like, I eat a Krispy Kreme donut, and I'm thinking, there's something, prefab. Yeah, yeah. Yes, thank you. There's something very prefab about this in a way that I can taste. There's just something off about them for me. If you love Krispy Kreme donuts, you do you. Good on you. But for me, there's just something about them that just doesn't sit right. And look, I gotta say, a lot of donut chains aren't very good. And I think part of it has to do with a lot of donut chains don't make their donuts in house. They make them somewhere far away and then like ship them over. which means they must. I bet they have some kind of weird preservatives in them. Do you know what I mean? To keep them around uh, longer. Rissa might know. Krellin's in the Southwest, so maybe Krellin knows. I don't know. I don't know what you all know, what you don't know. But there was a donut chain when I was a kid called Winchell's. Winchell's Donuts. I did not like them either. They had these very sort of like they had a couple like they were a chain donut shop, right? And they had some fancy donuts, but they also I was like, no, no. And look, if you're not the best donut place, there are a couple things you can do pretty well that are hard to sort of mess up, but I don't like them either. Oh, you do know Winchell's. I thought that maybe from the Southwest you might know them. Yeah, I did. I also didn't find them particularly good. And yeah, strip mall donuts for the win, basically, would be where I'm going to go with that one. Yeah, yeah. I really think it has something to do with where you make them. I remember the Dunkin' time to make the donuts commercial. Yeah, Stacy's. Oh, they still exist? Do they really? Oh, I wonder where they are. I also feel like it's you gotta work hard to make a kid who likes donuts not like your donuts. Do you know what I mean? And be like, nah, not the. So that's all. But we do have, by the way. Oh, I have. By the way, say hi to Stacy for me. And I have some things to do right about now. I've got some. It looks like got a resub. Is that the only one? It is. Doesn't matter though. Rissa, I have to tell you something. Y'all, I'm wearing my T-shirt, my Gambler's T-shirt. Boop, 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 boop. Also, I revealed the Crash Jones art yesterday, and I am in love with that art. And oops, I feel like give me a second. I might be able to pull it up here because I want to show it to you again. Traveler, other assets, Crash Jones poster. I could just drop it there. Whoop. It's very big. Hold on. I'm just going to, oh, you know what? I might be able to. Ah. Look at that poster. I mean, come on. Try to tell me that Josh Meehan Art has not outdone himself with that amazingness. Isn't that the coolest? I mean, isn't that the coolest? I am so excited. We've got oh, I can't even tell you how excited I am about that poster. One, because we're gonna make it a poster, and then I'm gonna be able to have oh, I have things to tell you. More than one thing to tell you. But I'm going to tell you in a second. Yeah. There's one in National City. Oh, 4 years, Ripper. Are we getting it as merch? It is awesome art. Yes, we are going to get. I'm going to look. So there's going to be a poster. I'm going to make a poster of that one so that we have that as a poster. That is going to be exciting for me. I have to decide what else I want that on. Uh, I have to decide. That might make a. That might. There, I'm going to decide about it. Uh, T-shirt. It is possible. It's definitely in the neighborhood of cool, but it's really hard to tell which resident of Coolsville is the coolest. Okay, that is okay. That is true. I'm gonna see what is possible. Definitely a poster. We might get a T-shirt. There's some other things that I want to do in the background that are surprises that I do not. I will not be. I'm not going to tell you until later, but I won't be able to do it until we get into the summer and I have a little bit of free time because I have some things that I really want to do that I think would be cool, but we have to wait for it. Um, yeah, but I'm excited for it. Let's see. So I will say this though, that each one of those characters is on a separate layer so that I could do things with each of the characters individually if I needed to. Still hoping for a star. See, I would rather have a Starbeam chocolate milk mug than I would like the big Crash Jones mug. Do you know what I mean? That's what I feel like. I feel like a good Starbeam chocolate milk mug would be the best mug. Yeah. Also, we've got some. Jer has been so awesome. Jer made individual high quality images of our emotes, so I can actually get a sticker sheet with all of our emotes on it. So I figure probably coming down to the end of probably near the end of the season is when we'll probably do the next round of merchness. So we'll probably get all that in there, and I'm really excited about it. Yeah, so we're gonna take this off the screen so that we can get back to that. Do I have all of this? Yes. Okay. Donut. So look. The name game. Come on, everybody. I said, now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name, I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F, or an M will appear. And then I say boo at a B, then I say the name, then banana, fan, or info. Then I say the name again with an F, very plain. Then a fee, fi, and a mo. And then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. Rissa, 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 Bobissa, Banana, Fanta, Fofissa, Fee, Fi, Mo, Missa. Rissa, the name game. Woo! Yay! Thank you for that resub. It's been like, it's been 4 years, as you noted. That's wild. That is wild. That's wild. I have thoughts. Not about that, but about 4 years. Hawkeye! Hawkeye, how are you? Good morning, good morning. Okay, so, look. I wanted to tell you something. What was it? It was something. And we're gonna get ourselves playing the game. You know, theoretically at least. Because, you know. But I have a bunch of things to talk to you about. I do love this poster. I think it's really good. This, like, Halcyon Helen versus the Brain Eaters. Like, I do like that. And she's clearly modeled off of Sarah Jessica Gellar. Sarah Michelle Gellar. Oh, I just mixed up Sarah Jessica Parker and Sarah Michelle Gellar. Oops. Yeah, oops. Thank you. I will up that game audio. Game audio upped. Although it's loading, so, you know. Doing well, because she got inspired for a song for Brenna. Nice. I can't believe we have so few episodes left. Do you know what I mean? It's wild. So, oh, I got some spam over on Discord. I got a spam DM friend request, I think it was.
Rizzo thanks any guests trapped in the orchards for your patience as the pollination cycle commences. Don't forget, our trees and bushes can't pollinate themselves.
So I feel like this wasp keto situation is probably bad. I don't want to be alarmist about it, but that's the feeling I get, in case anybody's wondering. You know, let's look at a map, though. Let's see. We have got a momentary taste of purpleberry. So we should optional deal with the wasp mosquito swarm. Someone has unleashed wasp mosquitoes all throughout the orchard. Find a way to stop the pollination cycle before you're stung to death. That seems bad. I feel like I should probably see what chat has to say, because I bet chat won't say bad things like that. You know what's sweet? SMG and Freddie Prinze Jr. have been together for... Have they really? Good on them. Good on them. Hey, Lone Koo, how are you? So, here we are. Side note. And we've got a momentary taste of purple berry. So I kind of feel like there is like a, how do we get out of this situation? There's a way, right? Like, well... Let's see if we can, find a way to turn off this purple berry situation. I don't know. Lone Koo, wie geht's? Servus. Grüezi miteinander. So I feel like there might be some kind of, perhaps, way to turn off this wasp-mosquito situation. Hi, Orchards worker. Yep, you have...
Caution advised. Mosquito venom sacs release the chemical, patent pending, name withheld, that makes a single sting up to 12 times more painful and deadly than that of organic wasps.
Why would you do that? What is wrong with you? I really worry about people sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Like, corporations, sorry, and they're not people, but you know what I mean. So, there was something I was going to tell you. Oh, yeah, I got some spam. I'm going to tell you what this spam is right now while I don't have wasp mosquitoes trying to kill me. So I got this DM in, on Discord, and it's a pending message request. And this is what it says, and I want your thoughts on it. It says, Little Hearts, hello, my dear. I have no idea who this person is. I'm aware of your exceptional gaming skills. Do they know who I am? That's a question. Do you like girls? There are characters in MMORPG League of Angels Pact. It's a fun, simple, fast-paced game in the famous League of Angels series. Of course, there are more different girls to pick from in the game. There's always one you like.
So if you cannot
Like, scandalized face.
that may be why.
And then there's like a click to play with your girl and no download free to play. And there's like a little ad image, which I cannot show you. And it says, who is your girl? Click the link above to play with her. And yep, so they're all very busty. Anime busty girls. You know the style. I like to call them shiny boob art, where
I wonder what June lays up to.
there are a lot of boobs, scantily clad boobs, but like the boobs, the art has them reflective in a way that really only plastic is reflective. And I feel like, and there's also a naked boob there. And the thing is, I hate that kind of stuff. I hate that kind of stuff for two reasons. You know you're old when someone says Freddie Prinze, the first thing that comes to mind is Cheek the Man. Well, but it's Freddie Prinze Jr., so I think of, the first thing I think of when somebody says Freddie Prinze Jr. is when Marsha in the Brady Bunch had a crush on Freddie Prinze Jr. Or was that Freddie Prinze? No, I think it was Freddie Prinze Jr. Maybe it was Freddie Prinze. Was it she must, you know what? It was the 70s. She must have had a crush on Freddie Prinze. No, I feel like it was Freddie Prinze. Wait, no, it must have been. Oh my gosh, was she having a crush on Freddie Prinze and I've just conflated Freddie Prinze Jr. with Freddie Prinze? What? Oh. Ooh. Now I need to... You know what, Hawkeye? I think you're probably right, and I'm way older than I thought I was. Then maybe Freddie's... Oh. Is Freddie Prinze Jr. Freddie Prinze the Third? How many Freddie Prinze Jr.'s are there? Because actually, now that I think about it, it couldn't have been the same one. Because why? Because, like, oh, my goodness. Oh, she also had a crush on Davy Jones. And then I think also some football player. But she definitely had a crush on Davy Jones. Because who wouldn't have a crush on Davy Jones? You know what I mean?
Did you
Colin says, oh, I've seen that it's spam before. It wasn't a DM though, just a messaging channel. Right? Don't like it. So, I want your opinion.
These noble insects display.
I had a question for you. I wanted your opinion on something. The opinion I wanted to ask you for is the following. Do you think, because I can accept the DM, which I will not do, I can ignore it, or I can report it. Do you think I should report it, is my question. This is what I want to know. Das ist mein question. Danke, mir geht's gut. Ich hoffe, dir auch. Ja, es geht mir auch gut. Übrigens, bei uns hier oben im Norden, Hamburg, sagt man Moin Moin anstatt von Servus oder Grüezi. Ja, das weiß ich. I know that Grüß Gott or Grüß dich, Grüezi is Southern Germany. And Servus, I know that's also Southern Germany. Servus. But I didn't know what you said in the north. You say Moin Moin. Ah, yeah. But I wonder how you would say it. So I was in Hamburg for a 3-day weekend. It was like 4 days, and I did not sleep much during those 4 days. Hamburg is wild, is what I want to say. Trooper, Freddie Jr. is only a year older than me. Okay, good. I'll report it then. By submitting this report, you confirm that it is truthful and in good faith. Follow community guidelines and do not submit false or duplicate reports. I do not... Okay, hold on. What? I don't want to get in trouble. I think I'll be fine, right? Okay, submit report.
This was a nice break.
And I'm going to block this person. I will also block them. Blocked and done. Okay, so I hope that I didn't screw up. I feel like...
Come on to my house.
Come on to my house, come on. Come on to my house, come on. Come on to my house, I'm gonna give you candy. Come on to my house, I'm gonna give you everything. Hey, Ezra! What? You're coming in to raid Ezra. Ezra, what were you streaming? What were you streaming? And how'd it go? Tell me the things. We were just discussing spam, like irritating spam that is gross and irritating. And look, here's what I want to say about this. Also, you have to tell me what you were streaming. Baseball. You were streaming baseball? What kind of baseball? Like one of those EA baseball games? Is that what you were streaming? You should say more. Also, if all of you do not know, Ezra Denny is somebody that I first met in 6th grade. It might have been the summer before 6th grade, but it was after 5th grade, because when I was in 5th grade, we had a substitute teacher who said, you should be in theater. There's a local theater, like children's theater company, you should audition. And so I did. And then I got in, and the very first show I was in was Mother Goose. That's what it was called, Mother Goose. And I was a squirrel. And I believe that very first show of mine was the very first time I met Ezra. And Ezra and I were, thank you, Mother Goose Incorporated. Mother Goose Incorporated. You're running a historical replay of the 1958 Giants in Out of the Park baseball. Ooh, that seems very cool. The only thing I know about baseball is there is no crying in baseball. Unless you get hit really hard with a baseball, then maybe you might cry. But it was Mother Goose Incorporated, and that was my very first play, and I learned a couple of things. Also, by the way, you should follow Ezra. Yes. It's a management sim. Oh, and I cried a lot. Oh, that's fair. Especially when Millie weighs ground. Oh, no! Can I have that?
Rizzo's thanks any guests trapped in the orchards for your patience as the pollinization cycle commences.
Great.
Don't forget, our trees and bushes can't pollinate themselves.
Right. So that was when we first met each other. Mother Goose Incorporated was my very first play. Let's see. The orchards, purpleberry hedges, the conservatory, storage warehouse, the nut hut, the Grand Colonial, and the hive. I forgot how we turn off. I forgot how we turn off this pollination process. So I think we might be in trouble. So I feel like we've saved. I feel like we'll be fine. Well, let's go to the hive and see if we can maybe solve that problem. Although, I'm not feeling good about it. I'm really not feeling good about it, you know? But hey, maybe we will solve this problem. I don't know why we're heading right towards where all the wasp ketos hang out. Seems like that's not... Okay. Wrong button. Wrong one.
Looks like we're doing this.
Apparently we are. Okay, wrong one.
Rizzo thanks any guest trapped in the orchards for your
hi.
patience as the pollinization
Oh,
cycle
gosh.
commences. Don't forget, our trees and bushes can
What is
pollinate
happening?
themselves.
Is anybody else not feeling good about what's happening right now in their lives? Oh, hi, everybody. Are you guys... So, Oh. You know what? My allies are kind of dying. Also, I feel like it's hard to kill mosquitoes. You know what? I really should have a shotgun. But, I don't have a shotgun. Just in case you were wondering. Ooh, awkward. Awkward. Very awkward. I would like to turn this off. Not the game, the wasp ketos. This is... Oh, Ezra, you should play the Outer Worlds, but please note that they don't have OSHA.
You know that mosquitoes will persistently chase an opponent for miles on end? At Rizzo's, we value the dogged work ethic these noble insects display.
This is what happens. You don't play for multiple weeks in a row. This is true. I really should have a shotgun. Wise words. It's true. Oh, game is loud. I can just turn that down some. No worries. So, let's go there. Right. So Ezra and I, we met then. This is also when I learned a couple of things. I remember in my very early in our situation, clues are nearby. Oh, hey, there are clues. I remember very early, this was like in the rehearsal process, when I learned that you're not supposed to say often. You're not supposed to pronounce the T in often. You're supposed to pronounce it often. And I did not know that as a small 11-year-old, but I learned that was inappropriate. So that was like, I remember that being, I don't know who it was a director maybe, who said, you don't say often, you say often. And, that was I still remember that to this day, that I was like, oh, that sounds like a Matilda thing. I think it was a Matilda thing. She wasn't directing, but I think she told us all, don't say often, say often. And I was like, oh. Yeah, that was my very first show. But, so here's the thing. Well, it turns out our carport is becoming a true Airbnb. We have 3 different bird nests going on. Nice. Oh, I don't know what she was doing later in our lives, but certainly she was a whole story. So for those of you who do not know, there was a woman named Matilda, and she opened up. So Matilda had 2 sons, and one of her sons, her younger son, died in a freak golfing accident. I think he got hit by a golf club in a swing. Yeah, and he was a kid. And so she she created a children's theater to honor her son who died. And Ezra and I became part of this children's theater, and she was rich. She was like rich person rich. I think she was probably the first rich person that I ever met. She owned a mansion in the Pacific. Yeah, she had FU money. Pacific Hills? Pacific Hills. Pacific Hills? What do we call that neighborhood? What do we call that neighborhood? No, it's something, it's the, Thank you, Pacific Heights. Thank you, Ezra. Pacific Heights. And she had this mansion, and it was a full-on mansion. It wasn't like a fake mansion. It was, I mean, like, it was only 2 stories, I think. It might have been 3, but it was 2 stories. It was a Victorian. It was like a Victorian mansion, so it wasn't like 18,000 stories, and it's in San Francisco, so it wasn't like it wasn't an acre. It had a basement, but I remember when you walked in the door, the first time you saw a bidet, the first time I heard the word foyer as well. Like, I'd never heard the word foyer, but you walk in the front door, right? And there's a foyer. That's when I first learned the term. And the foyer's there, and I think there's like a sitting room to the left and right, or maybe just one on the, I remember there was one, a sitting room, maybe it's not called a sitting room. I suppose it's like one where you greet your guests, right? That, or they sit there. But when you walk in, the entire center of this mansion was open, right? There was this big grand staircase. It might have been 3 stories. Was it? It might have been. But there was this, the whole center of the place was open to a skylight, and there was this grand staircase. No, I think it was 2. Grand staircase up that would split and go up this way. It might have been 3 stories. And because the house, they said that because the center of the house was open, it was the reason why that the house survived the 1906 earthquake with no damage. But off to the right was the library. So there was this library on the right that I remember. I learned so many words for the first time being in that house. Did she really? No way, I had no idea. Wow. I should probably go and look that up, because I have not thought about her in a really long time. Yeah. 83 is a good long life. Yeah. No way. And she, in the library, I learned I learned more new words. I learned the word freeze. Because please, yes, right? I think this was right before I just started playing D&D, because I hadn't found a group yet. So like I learned a lot of my vocabulary from Dungeons and Dragons, but then I learned a whole bunch of vocabulary from knowing this woman. And inside the library, there is this freeze up on the top, right, in the molding, that was like all kind of ancient Egypt sort of stuff. And here's the thing. Oh, thank you, Krellin. Atomica. Let me copy this link address. Thank you. But here's the other thing about her that you should know. In her house, she had, it seemed to me at the time, but I was also 11 years old, life-sized paintings of all the members of the family on the walls of the house. But there was like a painting of her, and her feet would be at the bottom of the wall, right? So you'd be walking down and you'd see like a painting of her on the wall, like a mural, like just standing there. And like each member of the family, like you would find them throughout parts of the house. Also, I think their dog and also their maid. So like they had the members of the household like just painted on the walls of like the hallway or like in a room. I do not think they were painted there more than once. So just like there was like Matilda's older son, Greg. Ezra, what was his name? Was his name Greg? You know, the son that was like super jacked, like super like kind of roided out. Was it? I feel like it wasn't Greg. Yeah, it was. Thank you. The Cro-Magnon. Yes, he looked like he could have been on the Jersey Shore. He was like, he had a sloping forehead. He was like super roided out. And he was, this multi-purpose pool will be nondescript anywhere else. But here, there's something strange about it. Let's scan the chemical makeup of this multi-tool.
It's comprised of 99% plastic, 0.5% steel, and 0.5% carbonated sugary beverage. Trace amounts of kerosene, alcohol, hydrazine, and liquid hydrogen also detected.
Yes, Ezra says he had a way of being genially menacing, and he was. Like, he always felt to me like at any moment he might just start yelling. Do you know what I mean? Like, he always had that. He always felt a little bit on the edge. Oh, look at this. Yeah, this is the house. This is the house. Y'all can see it. This is amazing, right? You walk right in, and there was that and oh, yeah, you can see the library off to the side. Okay, everybody.
I'm not sure I understand.
I'm not talking to you, Siri. I am Al Gore. Al Gore honors Michaela Alioto Pierre for mayor of San. Oh my gosh. So first off, if you do not know San Francisco, the Aliotos are a really powerful political family. They have been mayor quite a lot. Richard Coonan has a Wikipedia page. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so the Aliotos are like a political family in San Francisco that has been mayor often. And if you look at this link, by the way, Chromatic, thank you for linking it. Also, you can buy these photos. Why would I buy these photos? Okay, interesting. So if you look at this window, you can see the first photograph is the house itself, right? The kind of square box with that kind of opening thing. And if you go to, it's like, so I'm looking at 2 rows of 5. If you look at the last photo on the second row, that is the library that comes out. Yeah, you can see it. And you can see the kind of like ancient Egyptian sort of frieze that they have above the fireplace. And you can see there also yeah, I think 2 stories. The stairwell, the center that goes up, and then like it's split up that way. That is exactly, wow. Also, it looks smaller in real life than it did in my memories, which is interesting. But, oh yeah, and then if you look at the third, oh no, sorry, 1, 2, 3, there's some photographs, like the third row, it looks like. Second photo, you can get a better look at the frieze on the, right there above the molding in the library, and the amazing sort of stuff on the ceiling. And you've got there's like a Perseus holding Medusa's head. This looks very sort of like ancient world, ancient Greece. Yeah, this place, this was a home. This was a big old mansion. I do not know if there are any photographs that capture the paintings of the people on the walls that were happening throughout this house, because they did happen throughout this house. Maybe they painted over them. I don't know. No, you can see it. It's in there. Yeah, we were 11. Photo 2 is Greg. Really? No, my gosh. That is Greg. Yeah, that's him, all right. I would not forget that face of his anywhere. Yeah, oh my gosh. That's, my goodness. So, y'all, if you go to photo, if you look at photo 1, 2, so row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let me see, hold on. I think I passed it. Hold on, I saw it, and I want you all to see it. It is photo, where are you? Hold on. You have to see this, because you have to, Ezra and I cannot be the only people who know about this. This is really important. There you go. Okay, so, photo, hold on. Only open this image. No. Let me just do this. Open image, a new tab. Here, and then let me save this image for a moment, because if I do that, then I can, let me put it, downloads. Hold on, I'm gonna show you. The maid and the butler, I see them, and I want to show everybody the maid and the butler, because it's, I cannot be the only one who knows these things. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is actually important to me that I'm not the only one here. Here. So, everybody, so that I'm not the only one who knows this, right? So here, this photograph, right, of Richard Coonan seeing Al Gore, but if you notice in the right, that is the maid, the paint, and actually that is life size. So right, that's the painting of the maid on one of the walls, and right behind Al Gore to the left, you can see the butler that's over there, and it looks to me like right there, right next to the butler, like below the butler, to the left, that's Matilda, and right to the right directly below the butler is the painting of Greg, her oldest son. So that's get right there. There they are. That's them. I am so glad, A, Chromatic, that you found those photographs so that B, I could show you those images, because I feel like it can't be just everybody else has to know about this. That's all. There's a whole series where Al and with Al, and I think that's Tipper and a bunch of kids with paintings on the walls. Oh, really? Yeah, it takes you back. It takes me back too. And like this house, I mean, the house is beautiful, right? But yeah, they were very wealthy, is what I'm trying to tell you. They were very, very wealthy. Get a librarian in your life, get your memories. I love librarians. I cannot tell you how much more I love librarians. Chipper, see, I'm not crazy. There were people on the walls. So here's the other thing I wanted to tell you about that house, at least that I used to think about. By the way, this particular arrangement of substances doesn't mean much to you, except for the fact that none of these substances should be found anywhere near the orchards. Whoever brought this here came from somewhere else. Good. Let's inspect the casing. Okay, well, we're going to have to use engineering here. The casing is pockmarked and scratched. It's been well used. You also notice an inch-long steel panel haphazardly nailed to its side. Let's use our engineering to construct a lever to remove the panel, because we're, like, fancy that way. You collect a nearby rod of metal, and sliding it beneath the panel, push down on it until the panel comes free. As it falls away, you see that it was hiding a slug logo. Let's conclude our examination.
Fine, Cap.
Okay, and props to Matilda for letting us run all over the ground floor. She did. She let us run all over. We would do, when she first started, Ezra, I'm correct, am I not? Am I right or am I wrong? I feel like we were in the first season. I don't know how many shows there had been before us. Was Mother Goose Incorporated their first show or their second? I cannot remember. I feel like it could not have been their first show, but I think it might have been, or at least in their first season, right? And Chromatic is like, it would make a great Call of Cthulhu mansion for a patron, right? I really feel like we were either, if we were not their first show, they had not done many shows before. It says they started in 83, so I think we were a little after. You know what I think? I think we were their second season. I think we might have been their second season, right? Because the thing is, there's no way we could have been their first because somebody told me about them, but I think we were their second. Because when we started, we were actually still rehearsing in their house. And if I remember correctly, it's weird the things you remember and things you don't. So for those of you picture it, like there's that big opening spot. You walk in, there's a foyer. You've got this the staircase, right? To the right is the library. I believe if you, to the right, but down a little hall, we're going to get into the kitchen. To the left is a sitting room. There's another room. There are like two more rooms on the left. Is it before they went to Fort Mason? Yep. We were in Gary Dairy School. Yep. So if you go to the left, there was a room, another room that had a piano. And we would rehearse in this, would you call it the living room? I don't know. It's a little unclear to me what you would call these rooms in an old mansion. But there was like on the left side, there was a larger room, maybe it was a living room, and it had a piano, and we used to rehearse in their home back then in the very beginning. The rehearsal room was on the first left. That's, see, Ezra knows. And the creepy bidet bathroom in the foyer. Yes, indeed. Yeah, right? So there was this rehearsal room, which must have been some kind of living room or something, but it had a piano, and we rehearsed there. And we rehearsed in their home for a while until they went to Fort Mason next, right? Was that the place they went to afterwards? Right? Was there a place before? But they ended up renting so basically, Fort Mason was one of these there were these docks, right? Fort Mason used to be, there was a Liberty ship. They had a World War II Liberty ship over that was docked in Fort Mason as like a museum. But they turned all of those old warehouses, all those old buildings on the various piers at Fort Mason, and they rented them out to the community. They had to like redone them. And so lots of different sort of nonprofits and different places would rent sort of space in these buildings. Oh no, yeah, Mother Goose was in Ghirardelli Square. Yes, that's right. That's right. Ghirardelli Square was the theater they were using, and we would go and get chocolate. And then they finally rented the space once Fort Mason was sort of rebuilt for public consumption. They rented a spot in one of these buildings, and we would then sort of rehearse and then perform at Fort Mason. And, we check out the Liberty ship. That was when I first sort of, there was like, it was a World War II Liberty ship, and like you could go inside. And I remember going into the ship when we had extra time and like seeing what it was like. And it was very cool. Yeah, man, I can't remember that quadratic equation, but I remember everything about YPT. It's weird, right? Yeah, and it was a very interesting thing because that's Ezra and I were doing semi-professional theater from the times we were about 11 years old. And when I say semi-professional, what I mean is the adults got paid. All the adults got paid. We did not get paid because then we would be subject to child labor laws, and they would have been breaking all of them because we worked too many hours. So we did not get paid, but we did. We did a lot. And what was really cool about YPT, Young Performers Theater, is that they did, at least during our time, they commissioned new shows. So it was like newly commissioned shows from playwrights and musicians, composers, and so it was always like we did Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but it was like a new production. So we did all of these sort of, they commissioned new shows, and that was really cool. It was really great to be able to work with like super old, experienced actors. And when I say super old, they were probably 23. But when you're 11, people who are 23 seem very, very old indeed. Yeah. For the kids, it was an educational opportunity. It was, but I will say it really was a very good educational opportunity, to be honest, because we got to work with pretty great adult actors. I got to learn so much about Tech Week, and Gary Ortega seemed old beyond his years at all times. Gary Ortega introduced me to B-52s, Quiche Lorraine, but Gary Ortega was probably in his early 20s, but he'd already gone bald. Well, he was balding, right? He had the sort of the monk tonsure thing going on, and he just seemed like super old, but I really bet he was in his 20s. I think a lot of those folks, the actors, were in their 20s because it was a job. Like if you're an actor in San Francisco, problem with being an actor in San Francisco is, I think, similar to being a problem in Boston. The problem with being an actor in Boston is that in Boston there's New York, and in San Francisco there's LA. So like there are not a lot of equity houses or really big houses in San Francisco. There are a couple, but when they want to go and hire like an equity actor, they just hire someone from Los Angeles. So the actors who are really big and like doing good stuff in San Francisco often can't get the best roles, even though they're local, because the houses are going to go and like hire somebody from LA. I understand that's the same thing that happens in Boston, that they're going to hire somebody who's based out of New York. And that's like a frustrating thing. Crun says, I mean, it led to great roles like person who drives in the background while Dr. Cox is pensive. Totally worth it. Yeah, it's true. I saw John Zick on Muni in the 2000s. He looked about the same. I hope John Zick's doing well. Let's see. What did you find there, Cap? I hate to say it. I don't think I learned a whole... No. There's some foreign substances on the tool. This thing didn't originate in the orchard.
You think it could be dissidents? Or some type of rival company?
It's also likely that whoever released the Waspkitos was a Slug employee.
Slug runs the hotels. And the spaceport. And Law knows what else. So that don't exactly narrow it down.
Is Slug like GDCO? It's a question that I've got to ask. Let's, perhaps what we might need to do is take care of the problem of the Waspkitos. I'm gonna just steal all of these things because I can. Also, by the way, I do need to get one more kind of, rum. I think I need blue. Oh. I also apparently also need to eat food again. Whatever is up with that. Ridiculous. Okay.
You gotta show me how you did that.
Yeah, it's food. Apparently eating food makes you not hangry, so that you can then, you know, pick locks. Yeah, so we all of us, we were doing this theater, and it was a locally commissioned art. By the way, I have a thought about that. Don't let me forget locally commissioned art, like commissioning art. So they commissioned theaters, musicals. It was mostly musicals, and we would work with these sort of adult actors. And I gotta say, this is what I want to say. I have great value. I found great value in that experience. Look, some of the things Ezra knows, did not end up very well for our crew. There was some internal politics that were kind of messed up, and that wasn't great. We all staged a walkout, as a matter of fact. Hey, Artie, how are you? Artie, things are going really well. Am I still overwhelmed with work? Yes, but I had this deadline on Friday, which was just fill out this faculty information form where I list everything I've done in the last year. And if I don't get it, I'm not eligible for a cost of living increase raise. Like we get a 1% raise every year, and it could go up to like 2%. Theoretically, it's called a merit raise, and we could possibly get between a 1 to 3% raise every year, depending. But they said if we did not get our forms filled out by Friday, then we would just not get it. We would not be able to get one. But I had a symposium that I was speaking at on yesterday, so I had this symposium all day, and then I had stream, so I just couldn't get my paperwork done because I just had too much stuff going on. But I got an email saying that our deadline has been extended to Sunday because of the symposium, which means I can fill out that paperwork tonight, so I won't be late on that. I was able to get the tokens made for Traveler. I have to do some class stuff that I need to do today as well. So I'm feeling, and next week is the last week of classes. So if I can just get this class stuff done to get everything set up for next week, I've got to email my students because they've got some questions, get this paperwork filled out, then I just have class prep to do and final papers to grade. That once all the grading is done, like I'm almost done is what I'm trying to tell you. And I have things that I really, really want to do once, like I've got some really cool academic stuff to do, but some really cool streaming things that I want to do once we get out of classes and I get to ride my bike again. So I'm actually feeling great, just so you know. Aren't I always overwhelmed with work? No. More money for Trooper is always a good thing. I think you deserve the 3%. Well, we'll see what happens. I will say, am I always overwhelmed? No. I'm often busy. That is true. But I will say that these last couple of weeks have been way too much. And not in terms of streaming stuff, but in terms of work. Everybody's gone wild. And everybody wants to have meetings. And I had a couple weeks there where I had like 8 meetings a week on top of teaching and all of that. And I was like, what is going on? Why has everyone decided they want to have meetings all the time? This is not appropriate. Let's check our recent activity. The last recorded activity exceeds the Simpsons 2 weeks. Interesting. So the last stuff has been purged. Let's abort this pollination cycle, shall we? We're going to recall these waspitos to the hive. Good. Messages. Oh. Wait, we just dealt with that. So what do we have here? We have some messages. Have I read these? So, look, we all did this theater, and I have to tell you, I have a couple things I wanted to say. Were they productive meetings or pointless meetings, more for the sake of seeming to be doing something meetings? It's a good question. Some of them... Artie, I do not think any of the meetings are pointless, right? I do, however, think they are sometimes inefficiently done, which leads to more meetings, right? Like they were not being efficient enough in the meetings we have, so then we need to have secondary and tertiary meetings. I also think that this is not because people are slacking. I think it's because we have increased the number of students at my university quite a bit without increasing faculty or staff. So they're asking us to do more with fewer people, which means we're having to do more with fewer people. I also feel like there are a couple of weird pressures happening, which means we need to have more meetings to deal with stuff. And that's just a bit, like, you know what I mean? I just feel like we could A, be a bit more efficient, and B, they could also just hire more faculty. And then I don't think we would have some of these issues. That's just, you know, and added to that, my department, it's a music department, and I think that people don't really understand the ways in which music, theater, and dance departments tend to have more work than other departments. Art departments, less so. I think art departments have more than regular departments, but maybe a little bit less than theater, music, and dance. And that's mostly because, no, they weren't meetings for the sake of meetings, but they could have been better. Rista says, I'm just glad I didn't get on that jury duty case. I have 2 weeks to prep for being out for 2 weeks, and I did not need to spend those 2 prep weeks on a criminal trial. So if you are in a regular department, right, let's say you're in English or history or chemistry, any of these sort of regular departments, what you do is you do your work, right? And you do your advising, you do all that stuff. And most likely, if you're like in a department that is at a research institution like mine is, you'll probably have some guest speakers. We have guest speakers like 3 times a semester. So you probably would be expected to go to one of these guest speakers that you would have, 3 times a semester. We also do that, but in addition to doing that, we also have musical performers coming in. So we have concerts we have to go to that are concerts from musical performers, but then all of our students also do senior recitals, and then we also have all these ensembles, right? So tonight, by the way, I'm going to go to the jazz orchestra is having a concert tonight, and I've got to go to support the jazz orchestra. So we have all of our ensembles put on concerts, all of our seniors put on concerts, and then we bring in guest performers. And so if you want to be a good citizen in our department, there are a lot of extra things on top of all of that. And if you're the department chair, you have to organize all of that. So if you're the department chair in a music department, also theater, also dance, you not only have to run the department like normal, you also have to basically run a performing arts center. And that's a lot of extra work that we don't get extra people or time for. It's like a lot there. Yeah. Krellin says, if you want to get out of jury duty, just say you don't think cops are more honest than other people during the voir dire, and the DA will have you stricken. And also, I would not have been able to take the prosecutor's investigators seriously with his tie choices. I'm convinced those ties would be influencing his testimony. Well, we learned from Disco Elysium that ties might indeed do that. Hilda, really funny. Generally when 2 co-workers get blasted out of their minds on Spectrum vodka, and one of them makes a joke about how wild it would be if someone put wasps and mosquitoes together, he doesn't wake up the next day with a promotion and a couple 100,000 rabid insects on his back porch. I can appreciate a good joke as much as the next guy, but I got a message earlier today about making sure I increase quarterly yields, and it wasn't from you. If you wanted to, I don't know, bail me out sooner rather than later, I'd be most obliged, Morris. To H. Lawson, bail me out. Hilda, I'll put it bluntly. This place is one bad key press away from a total disaster. Earlier today, I accidentally selected the begin pollination cycle function on the terminal. The cycle just activated. No password protection, no confirmation message, nothing. As it so happened, there was a scheduled tour making its way through the orchards at about that moment. Somehow that idiot groundskeeper's exterminator mechanicals got activated, giving the waspitos something to sting that wasn't the tour group. Those people barely got away with their lives. I don't think we'll be so lucky the next time. My supervisor has apparently scheduled me for some kind of standard medical treatment. But when I come back, I better have a message from you apologizing for not responding to my messages and containing an immediate transfer to somewhere that isn't here. I've had enough, Morris. This is very sinister, everybody. Subject apology. Hilda, I reread my last message to you, and I feel I owe you the deepest and most heartfelt of apologies. I have been such an entitled bore since I received this promotion. In reality, I should have been thanking you. To oversee the day-to-day coming and going of creatures as majestic as these waspitos is a great honor. Congratulations on your promotion, by the by. I would have thought I'd be mad, especially considering how central my waspitos are to your new promotion. But since the treatment, I found it difficult to stay mad about much of anything. I hope you enjoy Byzantium. Regards, Morris Chen. Does anyone else think this is all of this sketchy badness, like, all the time? In every way? Like, because I find this... I believe I just need Spectrum Blue. If you see any Spectrum Blue, you should let me know, because that is where we're headed. We've got like a quest, you know what I mean? And the Productivity Queen, we need to find that person, that's fair. We need to talk to the administrator. There's also... We've got to find out what happened to that person. Botanical operations, that's good. We need to get DeWitt Hathaway. And we need to find... I think we're missing Spectrum Vodka Blue. So if we can find Spectrum Vodka Blue, we will finish
Got it.
that
Heads down.
business. There we go. All right, and we won't eat yet. We're going to head out and finish wandering around this area because we've got people to talk to, places to see. I was still wanting to talk about the theater place. Yeah. Poor Ux there. Oh, yeah. They definitely lobotomized him. Yeah, I think they did. We, by the way, we're making our rounds this way. Trooper, the entire star system is all the suspiciousness. It's so true. Pretty sure that's what happened. Just couldn't get through a jury selection in one day. Yeah, you know, also, just so you have a brain and can think logically, the defense will get rid of you instantly. You know, I will say I was very lucky to have gotten into a jury duty once. They almost never pick me. And I would like to be on jury duty because I would like there to be people like me on a jury rather than people not like me on a jury. I think I would like to be involved in whatever is happening jury style because I think that I think it's important. If you know what I mean? And I only got on a jury once. And I think that was because it was a little irregular. It was a little irregular. And what I mean by that is, I was like, waiting to be on the jury. And I was, in line. And they, during the voir dire, they're calling people up. And there was a lot of not accepting people. Do you know what I mean? There was like a lot of like, nope, a lot of dismissals. And they were right about to come to me when they got their last person. And so then I was, put back in the thing, and I was like, oh, man. This was only the second time I got picked for a case. Usually it's the sit in the jury lounge and the wait to be sent home. Yeah, same thing with me, right? You just sit there and you wait. So I got picked to go to the voir dire, and I was like right at the cutoff. And so I went back and I was sitting down, and I was waiting. And then I think I was actually still in the jury box. I don't know. There was some kind of weird conversation going on between the defense attorney and the prosecutor, and there's like a lot of conversation happening. And back and forth. They called us back in, back and forth. We're like, are they going to settle? What's happening? And then they pointed to me, and they're like, you. And I was like, yes, but come up here. And I was like, okay. Purple berry liquor, which is not what we want. Also, there's some interesting sound design here. It's a little ominous. So I think they used their last strike to get rid of somebody, I think. And I think if I had been a real problem, they probably could have struck me, I suppose. But they asked me the wrong questions. They just like pulled me up, right? They were like, you, come here. And I was like, okay. And the thing is, I was pulled up. I had to approach the bench. right? They had me...
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Oh. They had me approach the bench, so I wasn't, like, sitting in the box as you normally do. Normally, like, you sit in the box and they just ask a number of questions all the way through. But they pulled me up to the bench. I walked up there and there was the judge, the DA, and the prosecutor, and they're like, "You, what do you do for a living?" And I was like, "I'm a professor." And then they stopped and there was like a look between all of them and they're like, "What do you study?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm in the music department." And they're like, "Okay, you're in the jury." And I was like, interesting. So I assume being in the music department made me not suspicious, I guess. And then they put me on the jury, and it's a good thing they did not ask me to elaborate, like, on what other departments because I'm in the music department, but I'm affiliated with women, gender, and sexuality studies, film studies, race, colonialism, and diaspora studies, American studies, Africana studies, civic studies. I think that's it. I think those are all the departments I'm affiliated with. I'm not affiliated with the German department, but I should be. But they're a little bit, they're not particularly
Congratulations, Inspector.
welcoming.
You've discovered more footprints belonging to the deceased actress known as Halcyon Helen.
I was not able to get info from this, which is irritating. Fine. Artie says, I got a jury summons once, and I got out of it because I was in university at the time, and it would have disturbed my classes, so I was excused. What they do, at least in California, is that you don't get excused permanently. You can just reschedule your jury duty for the summer, which is what I normally have to do. I'm normally like, let me just reschedule for the summer, and then... Right, that's generally what happens. Also, if there was some good clue there, I did not get the good clue, sadly. But that's okay, because... Oh, there are probably more things we can find, and we will find them. And Trevor wonders why he's so busy all the time. Well, you know. And ceramics. That's the vicious cycle you talked with us about a while ago. You had too much work, part of it because you want it. No, it's not just because I want it, it's more because of, there are a couple things, right? And it has to do with... It's tricky. I'm going to read this, then I'll tell you. So, parts of this note are illegible due to dirt and crushed purpleberry smudges. The writing you can make out is as follows. Helen, I know I told you I'd stumbled onto the scoop of a lifetime, but neither of us could have guessed just how deep this would go. Now some slug from the docks is looking for me, asking a lot of questions. It's time to get out. Do you hear me? Don't waste time packing. Just go, as soon as you read this. You'll know where to meet me, tonight, 10 p.m. in the ground ballroom. If I don't show, take the next ship out of here and don't look back. B. I really worry when people just leave notes rather than just, like, saying it. You know what I mean? Like, don't do the meet me in the alley at midnight and I'll tell you the secret. No, just tell me now. Because if I have to wait till I meet in the alley at midnight, you're going to be dead. I'm just going to find your dead body. Like, this is always what happens. Just tell me now. Just tell me now. Those are my thoughts on that one. Let's just take a bunch of Adrena time. Can't be bad. Why does it have to be so complicated, right? Rissa says, I was surprised. This time the summons said you could show up anywhere from 2 weeks early to 2 weeks late with your summons and just go through the process rather than trying to get postponed. Oh, that's interesting. The way that they're acting is making me frustrated. So I'm going to get back to overwork for a moment. But what I was going to say is also we do have more of... Okay, so she was in here. Right? This is important. She had some kind of contact. There are more clues for us up that way, so we do have to follow these directions because we haven't been through this whole area yet, clearly. But I want to make sure that we've got everything on this side. Tell, take two Rizzo's, call me in the morning. Tell me more, like does he have a car? Uh-huh, doo-doo. So anyway, jury duty first, finish that, and then I'll talk about overwork. So, and like there are these kind of structural problems that happen when it comes to overworking, and then lack of tenure. Although I have tenure, so it's all good, but, I could have not, and I'll tell you why. But, so, I went up there, they said, you know, I said music, they said fine. I was in. And then we did the case, and the case was domestic violence. It was a domestic violence case. And this guy was being prosecuted for domestic violence. And if I had said all the other things that I did, there's no way they would have kept me on that jury. If they had asked about what I study or the other departments I was affiliated with, they would have not put me on that jury because it was a domestic violence case that dealt with race and class and gender, and there is no way they would have put me on that jury. Gonna note that one. Hello, nonchalant skeleton. I'm an academic. I am an academic. I love coming into Trooper singing. Hello. It wasn't Frenchie. I think it was Frenchie, yeah? Like, did he have a car? Oh, no, it wasn't Frenchie. Krillin, it wasn't Frenchie. Frenchie said, was the one who said the thing about romance. I think it was Jan. I think it was Jan who asked about the car, because Jan was a bit more, I think she was like, I think she's the one who said, what did she say? I think she said something like, what was Frenchie's line was?
Inspector. You've discovered more footprints belonging to the deceased actress known as Halcyon Helen.
Summer lovin' had me a blast. Summer lovin' happened so fast. I met a girl crazy for me. I met a boy cute as can be. Summer days drifting away. Ooh, oh, the summer nights. Well, huh. Tell me more. Maybe she did say it, because there's like, how much dough did he spend, which definitely would not have been Frenchie. This guy sounds like a drag, that was Rizzo. This guy sounds like a drag, that was Rizzo. Maybe she did say it. No, just answer because I was starting. Oh, are you really? Oh, nonchalant. That's so awesome. Is it me or did HH look at a lot of dead people? I'm in musicology, so I study music and culture, music and history, and I also do gender studies, sexuality studies. I basically do identity, so like music and identity. So gender, race, sexuality, region, class, and how that manifests musically. How do you perform? How do you perform identity in music and also screen media? So I will also look at video games, film. There's a lot to look at here, everybody. And there are a lot. We do need to go this way as well, but let's just check this spot and then head to the other direction. All right. Discrepancy.
Congratulations, Inspector. You've discovered more footprints belonging to the deceased actress known as Halcyon Helen.
What are you going to get your PhD in, nonchalant? Tell me. I want to know. I want to hear. Look, I love nerdy academic things. It makes me very happy. It is part of my joy. Sounds like an interesting. Yeah, it's super interesting. I am. Look, I love it. I really do. Some people will complain about academia, and I suppose there are a lot of things you can complain about. That's certainly true. But I really love my field, and I love what I do. I love being able to sit, like, look, let's be really upfront. What I get to do is nerd out about media all the time. Like, that's what I get to do. I get to sit around, think about, and nerd out about things I find interesting. And,
timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
That's the best. And then I get to talk about it.
Congratulations, Inspector.
You know what I mean? Like, it's...
More footprints belonging to the deceased actress known as Halcyon Helen.
Thank you. So Nonchalant says, oh, off to lunch. Oh, Ezra, you owe me an email, by the way, because we wanted to go and talk about getting together on your podcast to talk about card games. Let me know when you're free and when you want to do it, because class is in next week, and I want to do it because I want to talk about desperation, but also I just did another one, Something Is Wrong Here, and I think I've got another one. Anyway, we've got a bunch of cards to talk about, card games to talk about, card RPGs to talk about, so just let me know. And then we'll do it. Just let me know and we'll schedule a time, because you put the subject in my mind, you put the topic in my mind, and now I want to talk about it because I'm thinking about it now. So let me know. You're right. Let me yell at Eric Lang and we'll make it happen. Because look, now you brought it up and you put it in my head, and now I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking about it a lot. So
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
have we been in here?
Congratulations, Inspector.
Let's
You've
see.
discovered more footprints belonging to the deceased actress known as Halcyon Helen.
Thank you. All right, so Nonchalant says, I finished my master's in computer science. Oh, nice. Doing machine learning. Oh, and now I'm moving to environmental studies. Oh, very nice. My goal is to use machine learning to help answer climate change problems. Oh, that sounds amazing. That's awesome. You know what? Okay, so we've discovered a new space. We should probably save at some point in time, to be honest, because I feel like we've not saved in a while, and there could be doom. Yeah, so what I wanted to say was, I know that a lot of people like to somehow, they do this thing where they're like, oh, the arts and the sciences are so different and they're like opposed, but I don't feel that way at all. Like all of my colleagues who are in the sciences, I find very cool. It's so funny. I was having a conversation. So I have these conversations sometimes, and the conversations are really good. And it's about particular kinds of fantasies. So specifically, I want to talk about scientism, which is different from science. If you'll go with me for a moment. There are people who are not scientists, right? They're not scientists at all. It's Marty that asked about the car. Thank you, Krellin. Thank you. So here's the question, Krellin, which is the one that Frenchie says? Because Frenchie says something that's sort of romantic, that's like sort of like idealistic. What is it? What is the one that she says? Krellin will get it for us because I need to know. Also, enjoy your lunch, Ezra. We do have to extract this from my mind. Will I talk about Mythos? Oh, we're talking about RPGs. Although Mythos was a really fun collectible card game. I love that card game. I thought it was very innovative, and I thought it did things that a lot of other card games had not done yet. Maybe we'll talk about it. I know we might. It was really good. I want to play it again. It's been a while. So what I wanted to say I want to say this about scientism. So, I thought everyone was a scientist. I know, I ruined your life. So, oh, you know what? I still have my cards. We'll have to play. We'll have to play it. I'm going to use this terminal. So, there's this thing that happens, which I like to call scientism, or I'm not the only one. People will call it scientism. There are people who have these ideas about science, right? That science is objective, and it's true, and it's universal, and it's standard, and that it is like real and hard and masculine, and in a way that like the arts and the humanities are not. Like the arts and the humanities are a waste of time, and they don't make any sense, and they're not true, objectively solid. They're not like iron, and like science is like iron. But the thing is that if you talk to people who are scientists, who actually do science, they're like, oh yeah, that's not true, right? So people outside will be like, oh, but science is like objective because like 2 and 2 is 4. And then you'll get a person who's in math where they're like, 2 is not exactly 4. Right? And like when you talk to people who are actually really into science, they understand that science too is subjective, and that science too is also dependent on time and place, and that it's not nearly as rigid as people outside of science like to imagine it to be, that there's actually a lot more nuance and subtlety and weirdness in it. And that was a thing that made me love science, right? What I loved about it was the fact that you could talk to people who'd say like, oh yeah, science is weird. You know what I mean? Like it's strange. And we think that maybe the observer effect means that things might actually just not be happening unless you look at it. Like a lot of really cool, like there's a lot of cool things to ponder when you get talking to folks who understand it. Yes. Frenchie's is was it love at first sight? Yes. Thank you, Krellin. That's exactly Frenchie's. Was it love at first sight? Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I knew it. Yeah. Artie is recommending Horizon Zero Dawn and says you might find it interesting as not only is it an amazing game, which it is in its own right, but without spoiling anything, what you are studying made me think of the game. Yes, actually, there is, yes. Machine learning in the environment, yes. I recommend it. I recommend Horizon Zero Dawn. You just described Neil deGrasse Tyson. Sometimes 1 + 1 = 10. Yes, but also we didn't always have a zero. Like zeros, like all these numbers, we made them up. Do you know what I mean? And the concept of the zero we did not have until later. So of course all these things are sort of culturally dependent. I think I am winning. I feel like I'm winning. I mean, the first step in the scientific process is hypothesis, i.e. educated guessing. Absolutely. Hawkeye says, if science was objective and rigid, then I wouldn't be able to find research articles doing the same study premises and having different results. Exactly. And there wouldn't be anything to find out, you know what I mean? What are these? Gamblers' passes. Oh, those are still turned on, aren't they? So, for the Gamblers, which is our Traveler Pirates of Drynex campaign, you can create a passenger for the cast, for the players, the RPG, to go into a pool. Basically, you all can create a pool of passengers that can be different levels of expensiveness and different distances, and you can give them a name, all that. And whatever you create, I put in a big pool, so whenever they start looking for passengers, I will pull from. So in Traveler, you can actually roll to see whether they're passengers or not, and you roll to see what's there. But rather than rolling to see what's there, I'm going to have you come up with the passengers, and so whatever passengers when they go looking for passengers, it will be the ones that you have created. I also have a different one that is going to be live for Thursdays. Should they be off? Maybe, but they're on right now because not everybody can watch live, and maybe you want to still make a passenger. So they're on for now, and I feel like that's fine. I'm going to turn them off later, but they'll come back on. Do we pay to do work for your campaign? Am I wrong? Oh, no, you don't have to pay. It's free. Channel points, you just get them. And also, it's just like a nice Easter egg. If you want, like, here's the thing. Traveler Tools will generate all those folks for you. Just generate them. And I can just go boop and have them generated. But I like the idea that you can do it if you like. Yeah. So nowadays, most research studies are set up in a way to ensure the results the researchers want. No one wants to publish a negative study. That's a bummer. Have they been looking for passengers? They haven't had a chance to yet because Marduk was the last station. They got passengers in Marduk. Now they're at Thebes. So when they finish Thebes, we'll find out if they're going to look for passengers and how much space they have. I need to actually go through the last couple of sessions of Season 1 to write down exactly the distance. I have them also in the rewards queue that everybody's going, because I think they might actually be able to offload a couple of passengers here in Thebes, opening up some space. So we're going to find out how long they've got people for, and then we can find out when their space comes due. However, they certainly will have at least one space in the low berth because they killed somebody. You know. Let's see. We pay to make work for a troop. That's fair. Roger. What's your vector, Victor? Gotcha. I don't have the Mongoose rules. Oh, I think they're actually I think they're good. And of course, Artie notes that even negative sites can teach you a lot. It's true, they can if you do it the right way. Pearl said, I tried to make a passenger that would be attractive to pick up, but also a prominent interesting story element. That's the best. See, that's the best part about having passengers in Traveler. They can be undercover assassins. You can have so much drama with your passengers, and I love it. Yes. Nonchalant says, I've never understood people knocking the humanities, especially come out of the pandemic. Their importance should be obvious. Absolutely. Like, these things, like, complete human beings, right? Rissa says, and we were complaining there was nothing to spend our extra cash on for the last few seasons of Kolos. Yes, and I also have a new thing to spend your channel points on, which are song association prompts. Max Rider says, okay, walking the dogs a little early today. I'll be back, and I'll leave the stream running. Murder? Let's see. It wasn't a murder, it was an accident with style. So let's see. Last user, Anna Summers, occupation intern, activity, exterminator, automechanical, target setting, reset, success. User recording. Finally, you darn thing. Now, how do I? Activity, exterminator, automechanical, target priority, Sparts, failed, invalid parameter. User recording. Come on now, work with me here. Activity, exterminator, automechanical, target priority, Primeals. Failed, invalid parameter. User recording. Beep, beep. This thing, I'll figure this out later. Activity, no target priority set in 10 minutes. Auto defaulting to all. Somebody is not good at spelling. This is why you need spelling, everybody. Produce productivity report. Yields are up by 0.003%. Conclusion, the new fertilizer import from Edgewater is working wonders. This is the dystopia. User logs. Searching for personnel files. User logs found. Please note that all personal content on this terminal is property of Rizzers. 2 bits will automatically be deducted from user _keeper03's wages for each viewed entry. Awkward. Let's view archived entries. I don't think this person is really... They're probably dead. It's probably fine. Bleepity bleep bleep. Let's see. You got threatened online yesterday? Oh no, Max, are you okay? What happened? What happened? And also, Grinny Weasley just booked a passage. I don't know what I'm doing, but I want to name the character Rose Witherspoon, please, and thank you. Yes. Rose Witherspoon is now here in our possibilities of people. Actually, what I want to do is I'm going to print some stuff out. Negative states are very helpful. They even covered some at the oncology pharmacy conference I was at. See, I feel like they're really good. Oh, my goodness. Oh, thank you, Grinny. Thank you. All right. So entry 1, a new life. I was going to talk about, by the way, overworking pressures. So 2 bits deducted from user wages, opening log. I always dreamed of living in Eridanos, but the science types always said it was impossible. The gravity will crush your bones. There's no breathable atmosphere, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's why I've got this new groundskeeper position, and they're stuck on Terra 2. When the execs are looking to promote somebody, they don't look at the doubters. Oh, I almost forgot the best part. This whole place is automated. Not only do I get a promotion, I also get to work less. All I need to do is make my way to the hive every so often to set the pollination cycles. Aside from that, just keeping the local sprats from eating all the purple berries. Things are looking damn fine for Sandra Cullen. I bet that was called A New Life. Entry 2, I hate this place. Yep, didn't last long. 2 bits deducted from user wages, opening log. Well, Sandra bit the big one. Company policy says, due to our marriage contract, I've got to take her position now. Oh no. Something about discouraging workers from dying on the job? So here I am. Seeing her body once they got the mosquitoes to stop stinging it ain't been great for my entomophobia. Thinking maybe I grab a few spectrums and find somewhere to hole up until the execs think I've died or something. Thought about the purple berry puzzle hedges, but I've seen a lot of people go in and not a lot of people come out. No clue what might be lurking in there. I wish we stayed on Terra 2. Oh no, I'm so sorry about your wife. P. Entry 2, some jerk. Slightly, yeah. 2 bits deducted from user wages, opening log. Strange day today. Left the shack only to find a fellow I'd never seen before standing out front. Had his hands deep in his pockets, was looking at me with an odd, hungry kind of expression. Said he was either a slug or worked for one, which caused me no small amount of confusion. I didn't have time to ask for clarification because he immediately started asking me for donations to keep the orchards running. First time I'd seen a con man trying to convince a shopkeep that he's actually the one minding the store. Hardly needs saying, but I took my claw rake and chased him off. Here's hoping I don't hear from that loon again. Return to route and open the last entry, shall we? Serving the Rizzo's family. 2 bits deducted from user wages. Opening log. I got a call from my boss telling me I was up for a promotion. Fucker always hated me, so I knew there was a catch. I was right. This new job makes me miss the law-forsaken nanner peeler picker line. I never signed up to deal with gigantic swarms of killer insects. This place is a bad joke, and it ain't all that well told. Now the execs are telling me I've got to come in for some kind of medical treatment. This is bad, everybody. Sorry. Execs... Reckon it'd be safer to take a dive off the side of this floating planetoid. Won't be anything good, whatever's waiting for me. That's true. It's bad. And it's clearly the execs who are putting these parasites in people because they think it's... I'm gonna shock you with this, but mega corporations are bad. I know it's a hot take. I know it's scandalous. I know you're shocked. Shocked, I tell you. Well... we have a little bit more of walking around to do, I think. Let's see. We've been there. At least I'm pretty sure we have. Maybe we haven't, but because we haven't been in here, I think we've been to that building. I'm not certain if we've been everywhere in this place, but we can find out by seeing if we've looted. And see, we have not looted this area, which means I don't think we've actually been everywhere. This is why you loot everything. If you loot everything, then you know where you have and haven't been. Oh, I actually think we might have talked to this guy, maybe. It's a little unclear. Oh, I think there's the guy that was a jerk. Yeah, no, we've totally looted this place. We've talked to him. That's fine. That's fine.
Hello again, youngster.
Hello.
You're certainly doing a lot of running to and fro. Don't overexert yourself. The waspitos can smell weakness. Bleeding hell. Standing up like this makes a body forget how stiff.
I think it's suspicious that this guy has not been infected with infectoids. You know what I mean? Like, I find it very suspicious, and I don't trust
We're
him.
in the money.
Oh, hey! We just got a bits donation, and I think you know what that means. That means A, I'm gonna save, and B, I'm gonna sing a song, because whenever we get tip or bits, I sing "We're in the Money," as sung by Ginger Rogers from the film Gold Diggers of 1933. But I sing it in Pig Latin, and because we're doing like an old school crooner thing, I have to sing it with my megaphone, which is over there. Give me a second. It's. Can I take my... Ooh. Hold on. Ooh. Okay. I have it. I had moved it last night to get out of my way, but I have it. It's back. We're here, and I'm going to sing at this moment. I want to thank you, Atomica. So let me see. Hold on. People said... Crush the bones. They need Star Team chocolate milk powder. This is what I'm saying. We need some Star Beam chocolate milk powder. We're going to make a mug. All of Shadowrun is coming for you now. Nonchalant says, really concentrating power in a small number of hands has worked out so well for us in the past. Right? I mean, the glory days of the 1890s. How dare you say that megacorps are bad? They provide you with all the things you need in life. Megacorps are bad? Trooper! This is vile slander of the sort up with which I will not put! Atomic says, reading through tech and while lurking, so far I think is exactly what I was looking for. Thank you, Trooper. Thank you, Atomica. Look, I feel like I really liked the space combat mechanics they had there in Tachyon Squadron, and I want to run it again. I only got to run it for like a 4-shot, but I want to run it again because it was very cool, and I want to like dive in with some people who are like, yeah, let's do some space combat. But that said, there was a Reddit post I'll talk to you about, but I'm going to sing We're in the Money in Pig Latin. Irway and hey the anime, Irway and hey the anime, Iweat gileat leovat wayat wayx to utit gileang wayo. Irwayan hey the anime. Either I skays are any say. Old man did the action pray, we are a who you stay on way on rayo. Even eat red lions lay, of way at Brian's lay, oot day. And we see the and the order look left the eye get right in the eye. We're in the money, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. Thank you so much, Atomica. It is much appreciated. Y'all, we have a need, and a need is we need to do another visual novel that we can do in one session and that we can do in Pig Latin, because we've only done one Pig Latin visual novel stream, and I want to do another one. We should make it a goal. We should make it a goal. We'll make it our next, we'll make it our 2,000 follower goal. Another Pig Latin stream, maybe. Because that was exciting. I love the smell of purple berry in the morning. I wonder if this guy is the one that was doing all the lobotomies. Yeah, see, I got that question too, Artie Snack, and I am suspicious of this guy, just to say the least, you know? So, we are here. Don't trust the guy. I feel like we probably came this direction. What I want to know is, have we been everywhere on this little island? I feel like our map is probably... I think maybe we have. Have we? That's the Hive. This is the Bridge, the Orchard Hotel. This is the RR&DD Labs. We've theoretically got no more quests on this island. But do we have everything? Let's see. We still need blue. I also think that might be here somewhere. I think there's a warehouse. We should maybe check it out. We should see if we can find Anna Summers again, and then do it. Yeah. So I think we should actually just take another big loop. Botanical Operations Building. Yeah, I don't actually think that we're done. You know what I mean? I think that there are still some things here that we could... Hi, Dead Body, how are you? That we can find and follow up on, and I don't want to leave the island until after we do. So I would like to continue our loop around this place so that we can just get everything. Now, I do think we need to eventually get back to these two big buildings here, but I feel like since they're in the center, we can probably just do a sort of a general loop around to make sure we've gotten everything, and then hit that. I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. Yeah. Pedro strikes. Lurk and travel. Lurk. So, about overworking. I do believe we have an intern around here that we need to talk to. Here she is. I would like to find out if we... Look, we need some purple berry... Sorry, we need some of the blue vodka is what we need. And if we can find some in this warehouse, then we can get that special weapon, which I'm sure will be good for us. If we can. Anyhow, so look, I was going to talk about overwork. So here's the thing about overwork. I am not in love with overwork, and I'm less than pleased. Hello.
I knew you couldn't resist my charms for long.
Oh,
Let me know
okay.
if there's anything I can help you with.
Sure.
Unless you already have, and I've forgotten. In which case, I probably won't forget a second time.
It's okay. I am not pleased with the amount of overwork I currently have. It is like 10% too much. I don't like it. But there are reasons for it happening, and it's not just my inability to say no, because I can and I have also said no. I have gotten better at that over time. But there are structural reasons why people like me end up doing a lot of extra work that doesn't count. And I'm not the only person, of course. There are people, and I'll tell you about that as soon as I answer this question. Let's see. I found a toxic mix of fertilizer and weed killer on some purpleberry saplings. Thoughts?
Why should weed killer affect saplings? Weed killer. It's in the name. It should kill only weeds. That really seems like it's more on product design than on me.
Okay, well, I found a strange substance on the processing console. Does that have something to do with you?
Well, maybe. I might have had a supersized cup of mixed purpleberry punch and lemon slap that I might have knocked over when I was running routine diagnostics.
I
Look,
see.
I know what you're thinking, but I have the proper permit to mix those drinks. I just left it in my other work uniform.
I don't know if I believe her, but she's really trying her best.
It's true.
Hey, we have a lot of uniforms. It's hard keeping track of all your belongings.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Did you dump the drink before or after you removed the console's control panel cover?
How did you notice?
Yeah.
The diagnostic normally takes hours, and that's only if humidity's low. I wanted to take the initiative to try and make it faster.
You know, seems like a bunch of our exterminator automechs were on the warpath. Do you know anything about that?
Well, yes. The orchards are becoming overrun with pests. Usually we give workers handguns and tell them to go to town, which results in many injured workers and a few dead sprats. Our exterminator automechs only kill mosquitoes, and even then, only if an exec somehow ended up in the orchards during a pollinization cycle. So I decided to do some reprogramming. The reprogramming was easy until I locked myself out of the terminal. Then, when I was running away from the bots, I dropped the terminal access card somewhere in the orchards.
Okay, so bots were shooting anything larger than a mosquito. Must not have recalibrated targets.
Believe me, I know that now. Guess I did sort of mess that one up.
Yeah.
Law's alive. I really did think I was doing good by the orchards, but with all that you've told me, it sounds like I've done much more harm. I know it's a lot to ask, but is there a chance you could vouch for me to my boss? It might not seem like it, but I've been trying to take the initiative. I really do want to help.
It's a hard choice. I don't like the corporation. She keeps screwing things up, which does hurt them. It has caused people to die, but she does seem like a good soul. So I could tank her so that she's not in this terrible machine, but it is what she wants. You know what? But also if she stays here, they're gonna put a terrible, terrible parasite in her and like destroy her brain. You know what? I'm just gonna, you know what? Sure. There's no harm in trying to make things better. I'll talk to your boss.
Wow. Thank you so much. You do this for me and I'll make sure to do whatever I can to make things better.
See, Artie,
That was real generous of you.
You got my mind, right? You understand what I'm saying. Use her to take the company down from the inside. That's all. Also, I should really put that gun away. It's pretty rude to talk to people with a gun out, you know? Let's see. We read all that, so that's good. Oops, not what I wanted. Is there anything else? I really did want, I need some Spectrum Blue, is what I'm trying to tell you, and I do not have any. But I feel like there should be some in here somewhere. But it also does not look like I can find it. Have I saved recently? Probably not recently enough, to be honest. That's fair. By the way, I'm going to play until like 3:30, just so you all know. Yes. Okay. So the thing is there are a couple of things that sort of tie into the overwork of academics in general, whether or not they're grad students or not, and then certain types of academics more so than others. And what I would say is this. There's the easy thing to say, which is, unlike a lot of other jobs, academia doesn't really have an... Let me know if you want to know where to find the Spectrum Blue. Oh! All right, Artie, let me ask you this question. Is Spectrum Blue findable on this island? Or is it not findable on this island? That is just one question I want to know the answer to. That is one that you could share the answer to that question with me. I think Oh, we're gonna have to kill this being for the moment. Give me a second. But I should probably, oh, hold on. I should eat food because it's bad to fight when you're hungry. I learned that. Give me a moment. Let's have some... What is this going to do for me? We'll do that. I can absolutely show you a map of the island. The map, sadly, I cannot get in very close. This is our map right here, right? We've got the groundskeeper shack, our R&D labs. It's not a very good map. I'm afraid. I'm so sorry about that. So sorry. I wish I could give you a better map than that, but I cannot. Also, I'm not quite certain where exactly I am. I feel like I'm probably... Well, we're gonna have to get to the Purpleberry Nut Hut. But, so that's us. And I cannot zoom in. I can zoom out, but that's not at all helpful. Artie, let me know if that is useful. While we're here. Good, good. Okay. I'm gonna go kill this being right now. The Drunkalobber. Oh, you think so? Okay, okay, all right. It would make sense to me that this would be available here. That's what makes sense to me. But let me finish my. Oh.
Incoming.
Oh, okay. What we got? Oh, hi. Hey, leave me alone. Excuse me? What's wrong with you? Oh, hi. Excuse me? There are people throwing things all over the place. Don't like it. Where are you? Okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Oh, sorry. My friends solved the problem. Awesome. Vodka red. We just need blue, everyone. Okay, okay. Now I'm going to take what you've told me, Artie Snack, and I'm going to ponder it, and we will keep this in mind. I feel like what we do is after we do a loop, we see if we have not found it, then I will ask you. All right, we have been this way and this way. I feel like we've been around quite a few of these places, but hold on. Is this the way out? Oh. This seems like to be a new location that we have not found before, perhaps? So, this is good. This is good. I'm going to brush your teeth and come back in a few minutes. Okay, thank you. So, two things. The two things I think are relevant to academia being particular. One of those things is, unlike a lot of jobs, academia doesn't have an end point, right? When I was working retail or in the military, all those things, like there was like an end of the day, right? Like you have these specific missions you have to do, and then you do them, and then you're done, right? That's it. But academia is very much a self-starter situation. Hold on. Halcyon Helen encounters the Slugmen. Having fought their way past the numerous bandit ambushes and hostile automechanicals, Halcyon Helen and Olympus Opal have found themselves at the gates of the dissident hideout. You're a fine partner, easily better than my last, said Helen, but I dare say these fiends outrank your typical anti-establishment scum. Many of them were scientists before they deserted their corporations, whereupon they stole technology for their own nefarious purposes. I've seen their abominations, and they're more than a typical person can handle. You should return to your job and to the place where you're needed. I thought I know, though I know my work is valuable, Opal said. I'm still pleased that I was promoted to assist in your quest to rid the galaxy of those who would threaten the colony's productivity. The two of us together will, I believe, be twice as effective in eliminating the enemies of the board. Helen did not respond, but instead bid her companion to be silent, for she had seen that the gates to the dissident hideout were no longer shut. Someone or something had opened them. Very exciting, that one. Can I, I'm good. Nonchalant says, 100% agree with what you said so far. It was kind of jarring moving to academic work and seeing how little day-to-day micromanagement structure there is. Right, and so the thing about being an academic is that you could always be doing more work. Do you know what I mean? Like there's no, you can always read more. You can always write more. You can always do more. Always, always, always. And because there's no end point, that becomes a bit tricky when it comes to managing your time. Also, if you have a hard time being a self-starter, that can be very, very challenging. It feels weird that I'm working towards a career in academia. It feels surreal. And here's the other thing that's a bit of a trouble. It is a thing about academia that sort of leads to overwork and also other things in certain ways, is that we don't have, for better or for worse, I actually think in some ways for better, in some ways for worse, hard and fast written down standards for how much is enough. Right? So if you want to get tenure, if you have that kind of a job, if you don't have a tenure leaning job, then I suppose you don't have to worry about that. But if you do, you need to do enough work to get tenure. And you have 6 years to do enough work to get tenure. And if you don't do enough work to get tenure, you don't get tenure and you get fired. So that's a lot of pressure. Now, somebody might say, why don't they tell you exactly what you need? And, oh, you are also infected by this parasite. That's awful. I don't want to...
break working on Eridanos. I could have been stuck on Terra too. My last quarterly review said I had an attitude problem. Morale improvement program fixed me right up.
This is real bad, everybody. Let's go over here and see what's happening. So anyhow, what I want to say about that was, so here's the bad part about that. Now it's not like they don't tell you anything. They do give you some general ideas about things you should be looking forward to, right? If you're in a book field, you should probably have a book and some articles. Like they have general guidelines, but those guidelines are not fixed. So the downside is that when the guidelines of how much is enough are not fixed, people and their stress and the stakes are so high, people just don't stop working, right? They just do as much as they can, and they might do more than is necessary, but they feel like if I do more than is necessary, I know I'll get the job. But when if the previous standard was,
I could do that.
let's say the previous standard was, oh, interesting. So the previous standard was you did 1 book and 3 articles, or like your book was accepted, but it didn't have to be in print yet, and you've done 2 articles. And somebody's like, well, I don't know if this is enough, so I'm going to have my book in print, and I'm going to have 4 articles. And once that's done, that becomes the new standard. So then the next person has probably got to do a book in print and then 4 articles, but then they're like, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. So then they do 6 articles. And what ends up happening is we get this qualification creep where everyone keeps doing more and more and more because, no one can stop you. That's all on you. And then it becomes harder and harder, and there's more and more pressure because people are in their stress and not having direct fixed guidelines, get stressed and just start doing too much which increases the expectations for everybody. And that is bad. It's why there's a whole thing of put me on your paper and I'll put you in mind culture now. Oh, we don't do that in our fields though. Like in the humanities, we just don't do that. So, I mean, that's very sciencey. Yeah, morale improvement is parasite installation. Yeah. And that's right. But so here's the thing. Now you might say, oh, there are people who will say, well, we want objective standards that are 100% objective, so this doesn't happen anymore. And you might think, well, that's a positive thing to do. The only problem is, it's more of a STEM thing, yeah. But the problem with that is that when you have these, these rigid standards that are now obvious and we all know what we have to do, the problem is that those standards don't actually work for everyone. And if you create rigid standards like that, then you don't have the flexibility to see when people take a different path or when they have different pressures and structures. First off, so it's also really tricky. This is another really tricky thing, is that the standards tend to be for the entire university, but each field is different. What publication looks like in STEM is very different from what it looks like in the arts and humanities. So it's actually sort of impossible to come up with one standard per field. So you might say, well, then you just do the standards by field. That's all. That's easy. And this is where we get to the second part of overworking. That, again, is a bit of a problem. So there are very few faculty of color at my university. This is a true statement. There are not that many. Now, what is the impact of not having many faculty of color at a university? Well, there are a couple of things that happen. The first and most obvious thing that happens is that students of color, when they need somebody who has had similar life experiences to them, who they can feel safe around, who to talk to, they have very few faculty members to talk to. And so they all go and talk to the same people, who are often me, right? Now, these people are often not officially your, okay, we're still hitting areas we haven't hit before, advisees. Let me read this one. Halcyon Helen battles a lingering foe in a seedy bar. Halcyon Helen and Typhon Tim spoke in quiet tones about their next course of action, their voices soft beneath the din of the bar. The duo had just finished the last of the paperwork on Helen's latest job. Finding precise reports always raised her spirits. The trails led us here, and I suspect it will lead us no farther. Soon we will find the source of the dissident's monsters, said Helen, a characteristic grin on her face. Let's hope your hunch is correct, Tim murmured, for I suspect their agents will not be far behind us. As if brought on by Tim's supposition, a frightful voice suddenly thundered throughout the room. Near the door loomed a giant and blood-stained man, looking for all his worth like he had fought his way through a Mantiqueen's den. It was Maximilian Mercer, well-feared dissident stooge, and he held 2 Spacer's Choice light pistols in his greasy hands. Oh no! Will she survive? Isn't that a true statement at basically every university that isn't an HBCU? Yes. Yes, it is. But this is where we get these sort of problems, right? So I've got maybe at this moment 17 people who are my advisees that are on paper. So I've got 17 advisees on paper. But I have many, many more students who are not officially my advisees who come to speak to me because they don't have anyone else to speak to. After Ferguson happened, I had 20 students in my office at any given time. So I've got my regular office hours, but then I've got all these extra office hours times before and after classes that I need to talk to students who, I was talking to a student who'd never seen another trans human being in real life for about 2 hours just the other day. And these are students who need someone to talk to because they don't have other spaces for this, right? And so being a marginalized faculty member, I end up being the person who does that work. And I have multiple marginalized identities, so I get multiple different types of students who have to come and talk to me, in addition to other students, of course. So I have just a much higher load of service when it comes to taking care of students. And all of that time that I'm talking to students that some of my colleagues don't do is time that I'm not doing my research. Now, this work that I'm doing is very important for the university because those students then, because they have someone to talk to, don't, for example, leave the school or have terrible grades and sort of like freak out. So there's a way in which my being here is a net positive, and me doing this work is a net positive, but it's not quantifiable. So it's not in the books. Do you know what I mean? So that's stuff that I'm doing work for, but I'm not getting credit for, which, you know, is fine. I'm not, like, it's fine, but it is taking time away from the work I can do to do the stuff that would get me tenure. And I should be, yes, Max, you're correct. I should be getting compensated. But they would respond, well, how are we supposed to track that? How are we supposed to know? Right? That's what they would say. Which, you know. No, you're right. I mean, you are correct. Yeah, no, I mean, and look, there are what's the word? There are indications of what I've done. So, for example, at the end of the 4 years, students are, when you do your exit survey, your senior survey, and you have to sort of fill out your exit survey. They have an exit survey, which is name a professor who has the biggest impact on your time here. And then they also said name like the most impactful class you've had in your whole 4 years. And I regularly get listed by numerous students as one of their most impactful professors and also most impactful classes. So this is stuff that I have done that comes up all the time. So there are markers of the impact I have on people's lives here. So I mean, like, that does happen. But, you know, it's yeah, that can be by the way, I'm under encumbered. Like, I've not hit my encumbrance level. I just want you to know it in case you were wondering. There are some of these mods. I've got a bunch of mods and I bet I can sell some of them. I'm going to sell everything above. I have how many companions? Above 10. Everything above 10 I will sell. So that's going to be my me being responsible. I will sell all of my mods above the number 10 as a way to show you that I'm trying to be responsible when it comes to, you know, lowering my encumbrance. Yeah, administrators do metrics in order to compensate. And it's tricky, like how, and of course the question is like, what are the metrics and how do you figure out how to do it, right? And this is all the tricky part. You can just assume people aren't lying. Everyone isn't. It's fair. Yeah, actually undercovered, what have you done? See, like, here I am, right? So then the next thing I would say is, so that's one thing, right? There's just like an increasing burden when it comes to sort of dealing with students. And here's the thing, when I've got students in my room crying, I'm not going to just say, I'm sorry, I can't talk to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to do that because the students actually do need to talk to somebody at that moment. So I'm not going to abandon them, right, when they're in distress. And I will give them all the resources because, right, it matters. When I hear you say sell my mods, and it makes me wonder what do you plan to list me for? Then the other thing I would say is, and this is another thing, and this is just like one of those things it is, right? So I am visibly different from many of my colleagues because I'm of color. Now you might think, what does that have to do with anything? Well, it has to do with faculty meetings. And not the departmental faculty meetings, because those you always have to go to. That's just like a thing. But we also have university level faculty meetings, the ones that are like the entire university, where everybody should go. And the thing is, many people do not go to the university-wide faculty meetings for many, many reasons. Some of them have to do with how those faculty meetings are run, all that, reasons. But the thing is, if a person who is in this university, let's say a person who is white, does not go to that faculty meeting, which, remember, please note, the faculty meeting is going to probably have like maybe 200 faculty members there, right? Theoretically, they should have maybe 200 faculty members there. If, I'm going to check, let's see if there's something I can buy here. Can I buy Spectrum Vodka Blue? No, that's Glacier Water. We're just looking. Spectrum Vodka Yellow. No. No. We'll just check here as well, because maybe it's in a vending machine. You know, like it's possible. So if somebody who is white does not go to the faculty meeting, they're not going to notice that they're missing, right? Because there are a lot of people they're just not going to notice. But they tend to see whether or not their faculty of color have shown up. And if we're not there, we're more visible. So it's obvious that we're not there if we don't show up to these big meetings. And so I can't get away with not going to extra meetings. So like if there's an extra meeting and I don't show up, people are just going to notice that I'm not there. So dehydrated water. Water without the hydrogen or oxygen. Chicory drink. Huh. I don't know if I have any dehydrated water. By the way, I'm down to 284 pounds out of 350. I've really, you should be very proud of me. I'm going to buy this dehydrated water because it's not as good as Hawkeye's diet water, obviously, but, I mean, you know, could still be good. Okay, all right. We're not leaving this area yet because I feel like there's still more things we need to do, but we're going to chat with people. And eat some tarmac and cheese and get rid of our hunger thing. Save. So I can't get away with not going to the big all faculty meetings because it's obvious when I'm not there. So I can't slack in that way. I have to go to all of them. Or if I don't go, I'm going to get an email being like, why weren't you there? That will be a thing that happens. I can't, no one's going to miss one missing white person. Everyone's going to miss when the one black person is. Yes, that's exactly what happens, right? Does anyone have the dehydrated water really, as that is effectively nothing? Well, I mean, dehydrated water is the cheap knockoff of diet water. Right, diet water is way better.
We're in the money.
Just reconstitute water. Geez, is this the meta product or what? I'm going to we just got some bits from Be Right, thank you. I'm going to sing We're in the Money, as sung by Ginger Rogers from the film Gold Diggers of 1933, which means I'm going to sing it in Pig Latin. And I'm going to sing it as if I were like a rocker dude. That's what I'm going to do. I'm trying to go for like a Bryan Adams or like a early John Cougar Mellencamp when he was still John Cougar, like a Bruce Springsteen. I'm going to see if I can do this in that style. I don't know if I can, but I'm going to see if I can. Hold on. Let me try to get the sound in my ear. It was the summer of '69. So that's what I'm going to do. All right. Oh, this was the 4th of 6th string. Ordered at the 5 and dime. Right, this is what, all right. So, you are in hey, the anime. Either Huskies or Odyssey. Old man did action pray. Ooh, yeah, ooh, they was the other young way. You were in hey, the anime. Either Huskies or Odyssey. Oh, wait. Hold on. I gave the wrong verse. Hey, the anime. There we go. Sorry. Hey, the anime. Hey, the anime. Iwe at gele on we Hakes you ted gele on way. Hey, the anime. Either Oscars or Odyssey. Oh man, it action pray. Ooh, ooh, they are so wrong way. He will need red leon's way of wet bronze lay. Ooh, today. And And when we see the end, the order will look left, the eye get right in the IA. We're in the money. We're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. So that's the thing. If you want to do rocker dude, rocker person, you've got to do weird things with your vowels. Do you know what I mean? Because they don't say me, you say may. All of those, yeah, they're weird vowels. Like, I don't know why, but like 60s onward rock, they do weird things with vowels. Don't ask me why. I cannot tell you, but they do. Just to imagine I'm doing the soundtrack for a late 90s movie. Yeah, that one too. Maybe like also like the Goo Goo Dolls, Soundgarden. Like there's a whole, you know what I mean? There's like a late 80s, early 90s to mid 90s sort of particular sound. Ipke Afye Aime Uble Uzde Oshe. Yes, yes. Technically dehydrated water would just be hydrogen. Sorry, typo. Ipke Afke Aime Uble Uzde Ushe. Yes. That's 50s though. Wait. Hold on. I give all my blue suede shoes. You can knock me down, step on my face, sliding my name all over the place. Do anything that you wanna do, but honey, lay off of my shoes now, don't you? Step on my blue suede shoes. Okay, so Uye enke akne ime aunde, epste on me, I'm a ace fay. Andersley, I'm a imne, always over there, either ace play, up a onte uye. Epste ame, oh, that should be on my, yeah, ame, ime, uble, ace way uches. Uye enke, uye, anything, anyway, oh, anything, anyway, do anything, up a, ele, off me, I'm uble, eight-sway uches. I just gotta practice it to get the thing is what she does. Here's the thing that I think is really important to note about what Ginger Rogers does is she cuts the time, right? So when she's singing it, because you're just adding a whole bunch of syllables, so you have to do something to sort of stretch time to get it to work out. So like the actual rhythm of Where in the Money is, we're in the money, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along, right? But then when she goes into her Pig Latin, we're in the money, the skies are sunny. Oh man, depression, you're through, you've done us wrong. Oh, we never read the headlines about bread lines today. And when we see the landlord, we can look that guy right in the eye. We're in the money, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. So that's your beat, right? And then when she does the Pig Latin, airway and hey, the anime. Airway and hey, the anime. Eve way out, gele out, way of, way out, way at, way aches to ute it, gele young way. So she basically goes into cut time, right? Because there's no way you could do that. So, and the way that she does it, she's so smart. Ginger Rogers is so smart. When she slows it down in half, she basically swings it a bit more and makes it a little bit bluesier so that it sounds like it makes sense. Like, why would you just slow it down in half? Oh, you're slowing it down in half because you're making it bluesier, making it jazzier, but really it's to give her more space so that she can add in all those syllables. And what I would really like to do, and I just do not think it's available because these were all live performances that she mostly did, I would love to hear her sing other songs in Pig Latin, because then I could kind of see a larger sense of how she was doing things, but she did that on the vaudeville stage, and I don't think there are any recordings of it, which is a bummer. A bummer. What does an old rocker do know about Airway Ighe, the anime? That's a good question. We have been included in traditional oil and canvas work of art. We're in the Monet. Yes. Just imagine you're part of Eddie and the Cruisers. Yes, Hawkeye. Eddie and the Cruisers, absolutely. Eddie Vedder. Yes. Yeah, but I got it wrong. It's fine. Didn't it say with none of the oxygen and none of the hydrogen? So terrible. Your mother long didn't catch it all. Let's see. So today in the outer worlds is not as scary as the real world. From space.com, potatoes are better than human blood for making space concrete bricks. Scientists say, interesting that they know that. Imagine ye, akike, aki aring me engsle, inye igpe atenle. Yeah. Oi, hold on. Oi, they anime, and ye, evie, it ye, eight ye, utras bay, at ye, ish they. I also and wonderfully vampy. Yes, chromatic. First off, Dog and Bones. Dog and Bones, right, is the phone. Frog and Toad, Road. I know some Cockney rhyme and slang, but not much. I know. See, Hawkeye got the point. He's like, wait a minute, we considered human blood as an option. See, you know what you know. You know the issue right there. You got it.
We just got a new shipment of Rizzo's mock apple cider. It's hard. Wait, was that the slogan? Never mind. Now I'd love
Adam
to
and
get
Leaf.
you something. Maybe a couple somethings? Whatever you like, I can sell it to you at a low price.
Yeah, have you sold any Spectrum from the storage warehouse shipment?
Wow, what a strange question. I'm much too delighted to be suspicious. I sold lower-level Spectrums to workers from RR&DD Labs, Hive Control, and the Conservatory. Jacob's predecessor also splurged briefly on a bottle beyond his pay grade, and Black Hole Birdie bought my most expensive Spectrum when he visited. I wish he'd bought more. Oh, if you're looking for your own Spectrum, remember that you can always buy from the Nut Hut or the Grand Colonial Bar, so long as you have the bits to back up your taste.
Okay, so we're gonna have to check out some of these places. I am worried about all of that. Also, what if there's Spectrum vodka I can just steal? You know? I'm just gonna open this and see what we got here. That's purpleberry wine. That's no good. We need Spectrum. It's fine. We're not stealing anything in front of this person at all. Just not steal, acquire. So then the other thing about work is service. Whenever there is a committee, they often want to have diverse voices on that committee, and so they want to make sure that they have like a diverse group of people on that committee, but they don't have a lot of that, and so we tend to get asked to be on more committees than we probably should be. And they will always say, don't do too much service, but then they keep asking you to do too much service. Do you know what I'm saying? And as a really good example,
again, eh? With all the hull heads I've dealt with here, chatting with you is like a breath of fresh air.
oh, thanks.
Ironic, considering the fragrance of the orchards.
Right.
What can Slug do for you?
It looks like I've got nothing more to ask you, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna ask this person. The solution is clearly to fire all the old white people and hire a bunch of young people who are, or just, you just gotta get, like, first off, we do need more young people. That is 100% true.
Back, I see.
And this took real to every single walk of life.
I think
Yeah.
it's more of a wonder that nothing in these law-forsaken
I just feel like a lot of
managed
people
to
who are
kill
like
them.
70 might need to retire.
You got a complete report for me yet?
Do you know what I mean? I just feel like some people should retire. So here's the thing. This is an example. I don't know if I've completed it. Have I? Have I? Yes? Have I? I feel like one-term limits would also help. Oh. The only problem with one-term limits is that when the university does not hire enough people, then people have to do multiple terms. They just have to, or else we won't have enough people to do the stuff. So they need to hire more people. Have I completed? I'm gonna still looking.
Well, at the moment, I can't do a whole lot with this vulture hanging over my shoulder.
It's fine. Oh, politics.
I suppose you may as well take your time.
Yes,
Really now?
it is true.
I consider myself more of a watch canid, here to make sure you don't try to run off without paying us.
There's something else you need to know?
Yeah. So it's true. Some of us old people are still pretty functional and really important and doing really good work. So it's tricky, right? Because there are really good folks. I think the thing is, what it comes down to is, so for example, I did not have tenure yet, and I was voluntold to be on a really important committee that basically built a brand new department. Like, I helped design an entire new department because our school did not have any Black studies at all, and the students have been asking for Black studies since the 1970s, and my school just still did not have it. So I was put on the committee to create that, and I did, but it took a lot of time away from my writing. And at the moment, I'm advising a whole bunch of stuff. I'm doing a bunch of stuff right now. So we're asked to do all of this extra work that's more than other people are asked to do. And that is going to mean that we don't write as many things. And some of these things we can't say no to, the extra stuff. And then what happens is, if you have objective standards that say, well, you have to have 1 book, 5 articles, this, and this, then I don't get tenure, right? Because I did not have those things, because I spent all of my time doing all this other stuff. So because our tenured standards are flexible, they were able to recognize, I was able to get really good letters to recognize all the things that I have been doing in addition to, right? So because the standards were not set in stone and black and white, because they were flexible, I was still able to get tenure. They were able to recognize all the work that I had done, and I was able to get tenure anyway. If the standards were this sort of rigid sort of thing, I would not have gotten tenure, which would not have been fair, because it would not have recognized all the extra work that I was doing in these other areas. So having rigid standards often marginalizes people who are doing work that is not standard. But then it also allows for paranoia and qualification creep, right? So you're kind of, that was like those are the two sides of the matter. So I'm 60, so yes, I'm considered old to the generation younger than me. I will say, Hawkeye, at 60, you're not considered old in academia. Just like 60's not old in academia. Just in case you wanted to know. Like 75 is looking old in academia. Yeah, like my advisor retired in his mid 60s recently, only because of health problems. Most people in academia don't retire, they die, is what ends up happening. They just, like, there are people who are like, oh man, I'm thinking of some scholars who were 90 and still at it. They just don't retire. They just stay in until they die, usually, is what happens in academia. So you've got some folks. So 60, Hawkeye, you're such a youngin' at 60. Just gonna note it. Hawkeye, look at the specter of this country and you're hardly old. Yeah, yeah. Artie says, don't do too much, but we also need you on everything, so it appears that we are diverse rather than hiring more people, especially. Yes, Artie, that's exactly what happens. Curl says, yeah, but at least it's still a decade from the old I'm talking about. Yes. In academia, 60 is middle-aged. It's actually kind of true. And absolutes are the only thing that should absolutely be avoided. Yeah. They don't retire, they die. Yep, that's what happens. So at 53, I have 2 years to get back in and retire at 20. I mean, think about this, right? I did not graduate. I did not get my dissertation, my PhD. So I started my PhD program at 29. And I got my PhD when I was 30. It's a little bit tricky. 37. About, like, I got my PhD when I was 37, depending 38, but I would say 37. Let me think, hold on. I filed in 2009. I filed in 2009, but they didn't count it until 2010 because they were irritating. It says 2010 on my diploma, but that's not true. I filed and defended. I got everything done in 2009, but they just bumped it to the next quarter, which is very irritating because it looks like I took 1 year longer when I didn't. Anyhow, so yeah, I was 37 when I got my very first academic job, and I didn't get my tenure track job until I was 38. Yeah, well, no, that's at 37, right? So I first start putting money into my retirement fund at 37, right? So some people get their job at 18, which goes into retirement, right? I started at 37. So here I'm 37. And so if you start your career at 37, 60 is not old. Do you know what I mean? So there's like because you just tend to start so late, right? And you start your careers much later. And I will note, I was not the oldest person in my PhD program. And sure, there were some people who were young, who were like 20, who were starting their PhD program at 24. But generally speaking, people don't. It's not. Yeah, people often don't get there. It is not regular. It is rarer. It is not standard for people to get their PhDs before 30. So people are starting their first career at 30-ish, like, somewhere in their 30s or a little bit older sometimes, depending on what they're doing. And so in that context, 60 is a new 50 or 45. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah. And nonchalant, I'm sorry, my PhD at 32. Yeah, that's, again, not abnormal. It's not abnormal, right? I started at 29. You know what I mean? So it's again, it's not abnormal for people to start much later. So when I say old, I kind of mean in your 80s is sort of what I mean in that moment. You got your PhD when I got my second master's officially. Oh, that's so cool. Any leads on the nursery?
Got a lot of dead saplings that'll cost us a lot of bits. I've got a feeling someone poisoned them somehow.
What happened in the Exterminator Automech depot?
The mechanicals were hacked. They're pretty much running amok. If you could keep from destroying too many, I'd be obliged. Would save us a lot. That said, you might want to be careful.
Yeah.
Those things are built to take on waspkitos, and waspkitos are generally tougher to kill than people. Just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, something in particular to look out for in the processing control room?
The tower processing console is completely fried. Whoever took it out must have used some kind of explosive.
Interesting. Okay, well, I'll be back. I do not think that I have done everything. I think I've done most things here. I really do, because I've done a big all-around sweep. But what I want to do is hit that center area, just in case there's something missing. So let's see. Report to Ludovico. You found evidence that a certain research file was downloaded to a data cartridge. Okay, I should do that. I will do that. I followed Helen's trail. I've done a lot there. We need to find this productivity queen. Evan was invited to an after-hours game of cards in the Botanical Operations Building. Okay. Speak to DeWitt Hathaway. Okay. I do just need to tell him because I think we're good. But we still do need this blue vodka. So here's what I'm going to do. I feel like we have been all around this whole area. I want to go straight to the center of the island to get those two big towers to see if there's anything in there that we might have missed. And if so, just check out those two big central towers. Oh, hold on. And then we can report back in. What are we? There is something around here. Oh, we're right on it. Oh, it's Halcyon Helen.
Congratulations, Inspector. You've discovered more footprints belonging to the deceased actress known as Halcyon Helen.
You're not done until you get all the Spectrum vodka. And people are generally pretty easy to kill, to be honest. It's true. We're very delicate. You know? I know we walked this way before. These are things that I know. And what is this? Purpleberry puzzle hedges. I don't know if we've been to the puzzle hedges, have we? I don't like that sound. Yes, we haven't been to the hedges before.
They got a hedge maze? Captain, we gotta.
I know. We'll go.
Welcome to the Rizzo's Purpleberry.
I knew we hadn't been everywhere.
Grown on top of industrial sludge pit 27C, these unusually tall purpleberry trees have grown lush, luxuriant foliage and are literally bursting with extra specially piquant purpleberries. As you wander through our winding maze, feel free to try a fresh purpleberry right from a branch. Maybe you'll discover our next new flavor. Limit one berry per customer. Do not try any purpleberries outside of the puzzle hedges. Some visitors have speculated as to the presence of a treasure at the end of the maze. While Rizzo's has placed nothing like this in the puzzle hedges, we still encourage you to explore to your heart's content. Should you experience dizziness, faintness, or simply get lost among the hedgerows during your exploration, please do not try to contact Rizzo's personnel. Simply shelter in place and rescue will arrive within 72 hours, guaranteed, excepting unplanned shutdowns and any other times deemed inconvenient by management. We hope you enjoyed your unguided tour through the orchards. Rizzo's company and employees are hereby absolved of any pain, injury, or disease that you may have suffered during your visit. Have a great day and visit us again soon.
Worrisome. I'm going to eat food because I feel like I might need it. I might need the food. Also, y'all, I'm super under-encumbered. You should be super proud of me. I also think we just need more generational diversity in general. Okay. Samuel the lawyer. We're gonna save. We're gonna save. I feel like... See, I knew we hadn't explored everywhere yet, so I feel good that we're doing it. I have to make chili tonight, by the way. Purpleberries are people! The people! Yeah, I feel... Yeah. 24 hours, 74 hours, that's service. I wonder if there's a Minotaur in there. Yeah. You certainly can't die from exposure in that time. Nope. Max says, I feel a science fiction campaign where the players are renegades out to destroy as many mega corporations as possible would be nice. I think there was a game that came out recently about this. Also, side note.
I've already told you 6 times, and I'll tell you 6 more. I don't want a fucking tour.
No, I don't.
You can badger me all you want. I don't care if I'm from Forest Mills. I'm here as an individual, and I have just as much right to be here as any other visitor. You're welcome to bring a lawyer if you really want to try to force me out, but I can guarantee you that I will bury them.
Okay. So I see, Max, what you want is something less dystopian, right? A bit more of a power fantasy where the individual is able to, like, destroy all the corporations. So less dystopian sci-fi, more power fantasy sci-fi. Sort of like a bit of like a dystopian flavor, but really in the end, a kind of that Tarantino movie where they all killed Hitler, whatever that one, you know what I mean? Most have mega corporations or villains, but you don't see much destruction of said corporations. Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be utopian. It would have to be like basically like a power fantasy, a sci-fi power fantasy set with a dystopian front, right? Yeah. Thank you, Krillin, Inglourious Bastards. Thank you. That's the one I was thinking of. Yes, right. Basically, Shadowrun, but where you have so it's not really a dystopia, because in dystopias you can't usually destroy them, but you want a thing that like has the dystopian. Yes, I know what you're talking about. I actually think that there were some games like that have come out recently. I do not think I currently own them, but I have seen ads for them. I've seen some of them advertised. They're basically these kind of I don't think it's Hope Punk, because Hope Punk were generally just utopian games they often even have, I don't know, so the Hope Punk games I saw, I don't think should have had punk in them at all, because there was no punk. It was just mostly utopian settings. So I think what you want is something that's like in that vein, and I feel like I've seen one. H. Beam Piper's Space Vikings was actually about the establishment of a new government from the ashes of the one destroyed by the Space Vikings. So interesting. Oh, interesting. I mean, that depends on your GM. Earlier edition of Shadowrun didn't lean as heavily on the dystopia. That's also fair. It's just that usually more street level, right? But I think you could do it. Let's see. What the hell are you talking
Don't
about?
play dumb with me. How many of you fools have I spoken to by this point? 7? 17? Wait a moment.
Yes.
You have all your teeth. You're not
Yes.
soaked in filth, and you don't look
No.
quite as slack-jawed as the regular Rizzo's staff.
You're a jerk.
Are you not with Rizzo's?
He's a jerk. Look, okay, so here's the thing. If I lie, I get XP. And maybe also money. But what if he has information for me that he wouldn't tell me if he thought I was from Rizzo's? Do you know what I mean? So actually, the HBS sequel, Dragonfall, does pretty much involve destroying a mega corporation. Oh, nice. Nice. So I'm going to go with I'm not no. How about that? Because I could get XP and money if I lie and say I'm from Rizzo's, but then I might not get information from him, so.
My mistake. I'd ask what your intention was for coming here in that case, but I imagine you're not here for the Spectrum original either. Regardless, please inform me if you'd be interested in a job. I've spent enough time out here that I'm starting to itch. I do not enjoy itching. I'm sure you have questions.
Yeah. Look, there is an RPG, and it was one that I actually wanted to get. I remember it was one that I put on my list of RPGs to look at, and it's something, I think it's Red Markets. Yes, I think the game is called Red Markets, right? Let me see. I'll share a half-finished Hope Punk game TTRPG. It's rebellion by fixing the dystopian world by community action instead of combat. It's pretty interesting. Oh, nice. Yeah, I know a lot of the Hope Punk games that I have seen have basically not been dystopians at all. They've been basically utopian settings, some kind of future utopia setting where people are happy. So I've not seen a lot of Hope Punk settings that actually have any kind of dystopian flavor. So I think Red Markets might be it. Maybe not. Let me check. Red Markets. Red Markets is a tabletop RPG about economic horror, nominated for Best Game at the 2018 Emmy Awards. In Red Markets, characters risk their lives trading between the massive quarantine zones containing a zombie outbreak and the remains of a civilization. They are takers, mercenary entrepreneurs willing to accept their abandonment, bound together into competing crews, maybe not. Each seeks to profit from mankind's near extinction before it claims them. Nope. They must hustle, scheme, and scam as hard as they fight. They hope to survive the competing factions and undead hordes the GM throws at them. Takers that are quick, clever, or brutal enough might live to see retirement in a safe zone, but many discover too late the cycle of poverty proves harder to escape than the hordes of undead. Red Markets use the traditional zombie genre to tell a story about surviving on the wrong end of the economy. It's cutthroat capitalism with its knife on your neck. No, that's not the one. This is a horror game that's about... then I've heard really good things about Red Markets, though. Like, really good things, but this is not the one I was thinking of. There's one that's, like, all about, like, taking down the corporation. Which one was it? That's one. This is done by... Kira Supertin is great. Yeah, Kira's great. What is it? What is the one? Because there's been a couple of these where, like, you take over, you destroy the... gosh, what was it? Hold on. Somebody has got one. RPG, where you... Yeah, no, that is not hopeful. It's a horror game. What one was it? Is it The Ascent? No, maybe not. No, and also that's a video game. Let me see, hold on. One more second, I'm gonna look. Okay, let me see. No. No. is it... Maybe it's solar punk. No, maybe not. Look, I remember seeing a game that was all about this, and I'm trying to remember what it was. There's one called Hydro Hackers, where you live in a water-poor world trying to get water for community through plumbing and hacking. Maybe I'm gonna think about it. I'm good because the thing is, I remember seeing it on like Drive-Thru RPG or something, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And because I was looking for something else, and I saw something, and yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, thank you. Let's see. You said you work for Forest Mills?
I do indeed. Specifically, I'm their general counsel. Forest Mills, if you somehow don't know, owns Tile, Wentworth, Dock Rocket, and 24/7 Furniture. We're something of a big deal.
Okay. You said you're a lawyer? What are you doing all the way out here?
When the going gets tough, the lawyers start going. Some farther than others. I've been a junior lawyer for coming up on 20 years now. And quite frankly, I'm getting old. Hopefully, there will be enough legal kindling out here to fuel my firm for a while longer. And if I find that kindling, I stand to finally get my raise.
24/7 furniture? Furniture that actually lasts? Well, maybe it only lasts for 7 days, though. You know what I mean? Like,
I did. You see, Rizzo's has been advertising a contest in the puzzle hedges. Whoever gets to the center first gets a bottle of the first Spectrum ever made, the Spectrum Original. My interest, however, lies with the associated promise, the chance to attend the Spectrum Brown unveiling and meet Halcyon Helen.
Yeah, Helen's dead, but Rizzo's hasn't formally canceled the contest.
Indeed, you are a savvy one. Rizzo's can no longer make good on their promise, which means this entire contest is one big fraud case.
Oh, I see.
All I need is a single piece of evidence.
I
With
see.
the Spectrum Original bottle, which is located in the center of the puzzle hedges, I will have all I need to sue Rizzo's for all they're worth. That's where you come
in. Why would Rizzo's give one of their original products away for free?
I don't know if you know this, but Rizzo's is on the outs.
Oh.
They're losing power and losing money.
Interesting.
This was no doubt a desperate bid to regain some lost clout. That, or their marketing team is particularly spiteful. You know the saying, I'm sure. Why work for a promotion when sabotage takes half the time and a quarter of the effort?
I see. Why does Forest Mills want to sue Rizzo's?
Technically, I sue not on behalf of Forest Mills, but for my own benefit. In arbitration, it might be difficult to argue that this contest is designed to slight Forest Mills. However, as it so happens, if my lawsuit takes a chunk out of their savings, then I can collect while also damaging their capital. It's a mutual win. I make millions, Rizzo's falls further from the board's good graces, and Forest Mills products look that much more valuable compared to Rizzo's trash.
Interesting. I think I already retrieved that item, though. Here you go.
Truly? Oh my law, you really do have the original. Ah, finally. Where have you been all my life, my darling? You and I will make quite a team, won't we? Your pay, good freelancer. I shall win this case in your honor.
Hey, I'm just actually really excited about you destroying corporations from the inside. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's really all I care about. If I can get you all to work against each other so that you... Yeah, I'm just here to get you to work against each other, really, is what's going on. And if I can get that to happen, then I'm happy. Also, we're in a hedge maze. I do not think we've been in the hedge maze before. So, I know a game where you play as the low-level managers of Megahorse and chronically fail. Oh, hello. Oop.
The Spectrum Original appears to have vanished, as it shall from the history books. An unfortunate waste, but at least it won't be missed, like everything in this colony.
I feel like I probably already got it. But maybe I didn't. I mean, there's a little bomb here. That's fun. I don't know why. You know what, though? I don't know if I have been in this maze. I feel like maybe I haven't. But then how did I get the Spectrum original? Maybe I got it somewhere else. I don't know. You know what I didn't do? Y'all, I didn't do the thing that you're supposed to do when you go into mazes. I'm so sorry, where you always follow the left, like you just always go left. You know? Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean. It's the whole I've played Dungeons and Dragons a lot trick, where you always go left. Like just... It's a lot of trash here. Yes. So I am a little distressed that I just ran forward, not doing the D&D labyrinth trick like a bad person, but hey.
Processing to investigate.
Oh, you, hi. Excuse me. Oh, out. Excuse me. Hi, friends. Here, y'all use your special powers. Oh, also, let me just do that. Let me just do a little bit of that, shall we? Are we all good? Oh, what was that all about? What was that all about, everybody? I don't know what that was all about, but, I don't think it was good. But we didn't die, so, I mean... Always follow the wall. Yeah, see, you know what I'm talking about. There's a whole thing about always... Yes, see, I know what I'm talking... But, look, there are things trying to kill us, so we clearly have not been in this maze before, even though we somehow got that Spectrum original, which makes me think that maybe it was never here in the first place. Also, how do you get through a section of the original Legend of Zelda, which is how I learned my left and rights? What was that all about? Seems like a really common thing to say after a fight. Yeah. Yeah. So, I was just sort of reiterating that there are a lot of things that make it so that if you are a marginalized academic, you end up doing a whole bunch of work that is often not recognized or valued, and then, it makes it hard for you to get tenure. Ooh. So I think that we are indeed... Hi. Oh, hi. Hi, combat drone. How are you? You know, I don't know what's wrong. What's wrong is that I'm dying, and I'm feeling bad about it, and my friend should go and oh, gosh. When did I save last? We've got 8 minutes. We're going to continue. I was not using the weapon I wanted to use, so we're just going to, somebody, I should have been on top of things. That was me. Let's do a little bit of more death. Hey, I've not died in this game for a while, right? That's so just for the record. Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste death but once. Trooper SJP, on the other hand, has died 71 times so far. That is combined the Long Dark and also...
Forest Mills thanks you for handing the original over, as do I. Perhaps this suit will finally be enough to wrest Rizzo's grasp from Eridanos.
Sweet. When did I save? Always a bad thought in game. Yeah, I'm going to save right now. Also, for the record, we're now going to do the left thing. We're doing the left thing. That's what we're going to do. Yeah, it's fine. Now we can go left. We're just going to follow the wall to the left like we're supposed to do in a responsible way. And we're going to reload all of our weapons at this moment. Not for any particular reason. Just, that's what we're going to do. 5-minute warning? Okay, we'll see how far we can go. We should institute standards so we stop disadvantaging marginalized communities. One set standard later. Oh, the standards we set disadvantage. Yeah, so that's the problem, right? That quote unquote objective things are often not always the best. So we're just gonna we're doing the left thing. We're doing like for reals. We're committing. Hi. Oh. Hi. We're gonna kill these drones.
Can we do that again?
Sure. Also, I did not mean to get all fighty. This is very nice. This is very nice. But that said, you're left, you got it. You had a good home, but you left. Your mother was there when you left. Your mother, your father, your sister, your brother were all there when you left. And that is why you left. Sound off. 1, 2. Sound off. 3, 4. Break it on down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I love a good cadence call. Vodka blue. Hey, we got it. We got all the variants of the Spectrum vodka. We can now get that weapon in the RR and D spot. So I'm just gonna note that we have done it. We have been exceedingly productive.
The original appears to have vanished, as it shall from the history books. An unfortunate waste.
Sweet. We're following back our left strategy. Okay, go to your stream. We'll check you out later. We are following our strategy of left walls only. Speaking of left walls and D&D, I want to run a dungeon crawl. I just feel like I need to run some old school D&D. Hello. There was a bomb there that I seem to have ignored. Well, I want to play a control. Yeah, but I want to do one that's like good. You know what I mean? Like I want to do one that is interesting. Going back to the red and blue. Well, so here's the thing. The entire OSR is like super obsessed with the red and blue books, so I'm less interested in that. I kind of want to do some AD&D 1E. Sort of what I'm thinking. Or maybe... I don't think I told you all what I was thinking about when it came to Tunnels and Trolls. And I've got 3 minutes, so I feel like I can tell you a little bit of it, and then, you know... by the way, I would like to get through this, this place. All right. 1E, back when bards were cool. So I was thinking about Tunnels and Trolls, and all of the math that's involved in Tunnels and Trolls. Or more to the point, cool than absolute badasses, yeah. So I was thinking about Tunnels and Trolls and how it seems like it's like super mathy, but I feel like it only seems that way in the context of VTTs. And what I want to say is, and like I was having this conversation with somebody about this, I have to figure out how I can do this in Roll20. If there's a way for me to do this in Roll20, it will probably involve some coding. But back in the day, if you were playing Tunnels and Trolls, you didn't actually add up all of your dice, your 20 dice, and then add up all of their 20 dice, and then, subtract, right? You didn't actually necessarily do that because that's not what you do when you're sitting at a table with a bunch of dice. What you do is, let's go right here. What you do instead is, what you do, pardon me. Hey, that would... Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Oops.
Okay.
Hey, that was much better. I have to just use my pistol. That's what I'm specialized in, and it's much better for me to do it. That's what I should just do. Just for the record. Anyhow, but that's not how you would have done it, right? That's how you do it now. Yes. Thank you, Krillin. You know exactly where you knew where I was going. Here's a 5. This cancels this 5. This 3 and 1 cancel this 4. This 6 cancels those 3 2s. Yes, what you do is you end up canceling dice, right? So you're not necessarily doing all of the math until you get to basically the end anyway. You do all the canceling. And what I'm thinking of is that canceling dice is doing something really interesting physically, because when you roll all of your dice and you start canceling like that, you're seeing the impact of your, like, it does, I think it's a different visceral experience. And because when you damage monsters in Tunnels and Trolls or your opponents, they get fewer dice to throw. Like, you can, if there's a way in which it's sort of, and each one of these cancelings can be like an exchange, right? I think that there is the opportunity for different kind of storytelling when you're actually doing dice canceling, rather than if you are just adding everything up and finding out what the number is. So I think it's easier to do when you're doing dice canceling, and I think it tells slightly different stories, like more exciting stories. Like you can narrate your way through it in slightly different ways. And so I think when you have a VTT that doesn't do that, or you just do it the math way, I actually think you missed something important. Do you see what I'm saying? So, sounds like the Edge of Empire system. Yeah, so what I want to do is, by the way, why did I go in here? I went in here for a reason. I know what it was. I have to eat food. So what I'm wanting to do, because I want to run Tunnels and Trolls again with that group that we had with Random Tuesday and that whole crew, which was like so lovely. That was just like a great time. Let's have some Spratwurst. No, let's go and have corn ears. No. Oop, pardon me. Oh, hey, what is this? Some salt tuna. Sure. Nope. Let's just go with purple berry crunch. So what I really want to do is I want to find a way to recreate the ability to cancel dice in this way that I think actually is part of how Tunnels and Trolls is part of the interest in, like what makes it sort of exciting. And I think I can do it, but I think I can't use actual, because the thing about dice is that you can't have multiple dice on the table at once. You can't, yeah, you can't have multiple dice on the table at once. You can't, left. Yeah, you can't have multiple table on the dice at once, and you can't cancel dice, right? So I think that there is a way to do it, but I think the way to do it involves having faux dice, like having sort of a... Hello? Dice that aren't really dice, and I think that is going to be the way to do this thing that I'm thinking about. So I think it's doable, and I want to try to figure out how to program basically rollable tokens as dice and figure out if there's a way to reproduce that Oh, hi, how are you? How to reproduce this experience. Also, everybody, use your abilities. You all have abilities, and you should use them. You know what I mean? Like, do that. Let me just, Hi, everybody. How are you? Nobody's dead. Faux dice, not faux dice. Yes. Yeah, so I really do have this sense that there is a way to reproduce this thing that happens when you're playing in person, that I think sometimes it doesn't matter, but I actually think it does matter for the experience of Tunnels and Trolls. This is my current theory. And I would like to play out that theory and see what it's like. But that's going to be a thing I will just do not right now, but a little bit. Why are you all standing over there? A little bit later. Right? That's currently my my thought on this matter. That I hope.
All right, here we go.
Also, Tunnels and Trolls doesn't have a good what's the word? Excuse me? Something is shooting at me right now. What is it? What is happening to me? I've got something going on. Also, where are my friends? What are they doing? I have to go. It's time. But I am worried that I will lose my train of thought. Not my train of thought when it comes to where we are in the... I'm 5 minutes, I know. I just want you to know that I'm a little concerned that my friends are not with me right now. But look, we're doing the... Are you... Yeah. Okay, so my friends are very far away, and they're not hanging out with me. They've not followed me, which I find disconcerting. Oh, a new person.
Seems all my bumbling around this maze was for naught. Someone else got what I was after. But at the moment, I'm more worried about finding a way out.
Interesting. I gotta go, everybody. Like, we can't stay here. I have to stop exploring this maze. Oh, hi. Are you gonna come and help me, or are you not gonna come and help me? We're gonna kill these drones, by the way. Just oh, also, I feel like my friends are not helping me, and that is distressing me a little bit. I feel like they are...
In one piece?
Yeah, I don't think my friends are with me. I just, gonna just tell you that, I should stop now. I should stop now. But my friends are not with me. Yeah. I should stop playing right now and grab food. This is what... So anyway, we're gonna wrap it up. We're wrapping it up right now. I'm gonna give my outro. We're gonna do it. So what's up? Where are we in the story? I'm Trooper SJP. I know I'm listening to myself. We're walking out. So it's me, it's Trooper SJP. I have had such a good time playing the Outer Worlds. I also feel like we're really close to, like, look, I think we had a lot of great progress today and also great conversations. So I'm feeling particularly good about our lives at this moment. I'm not feeling good about the fact that my friends are very far away and I don't want to go pick them back up again. I just want them to come and find me. But let's see. You can find me... Today is Saturday. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. you can find me over at Praxagora, the Speforia's channel, for Witcher Road's Home. It's the penultimate session, which I'm very excited about. Okay. And then let me see, what else is next? You can find me on Monday at 8:30 p.m. over at Wandering DM's channel, where I'll be playing Montreal by Night, and I am playing a vampire who has lost to humanity, is what I have done. So I think I must have done it. I think I must have gone through the entire thing. I feel like we've done it, which means all of my stalling was successful, because I think we have done it. Yay. Let me save. And we're at a place where we can go forward and be free. And I feel like I have succeeded in life. There you go. Did it. So thank you. Oh, I'm going to have, yeah, what I've got to do today is I've got to go eat some food. I've got to go talk to a friend who I haven't spoken to in a long time. I've got to go to the pharmacy if I can make it down there. And then I've got to go to this concert, and then I've got a bunch of work to do. But I'm feeling good about that. And you can find me, those we can find me. Then on Thursday, you can find me here at 7 p.m. playing Disco Elysium. And then Friday will be the Gamblers, our Traveler Pirates of Drynax campaign. And we'll have the whole crew back, as far as I know, and we'll find out how they finish up this sort of standoff they're at, which I'm excited to see how they'll go. And then Disco Elysium is fantastic, because I'm working real hard to try to figure out what kind of mental break this person I'm piloting has had and how I can make them better. And I also need to do the things from Merit Increase, yes. And I also have tomorrow to do that as well. So that's what I'm doing. I want to say thank you for being here. And we've got merch, which I'm so excited about, which you can sort of hang out and check out. We've got a merch store. You can find me at Trooper SJP here and on YouTube, Academic Foxhole on Twitter, and also Patreon. And that Patreon is there to support the RPGs that I produce. It goes to help pay for great art, like Josh Meehan's art, which is, for example, right there. But also primarily it goes to pay for the cast. And I got to tell you, y'all, I just went through the taxes. I paid almost $5,000 for cast costs this last year, not including me, because sometimes I get paid, sometimes I don't. It just kind of depends on whether there's enough left over. So I paid almost $5,000 to the cast this year, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, other random expenses. But that was pretty neat. And I'm pretty excited about, I'm very proud of myself. I'm proud of you all for helping support the channel so that I can hire folks and actually pay them. I am proud that, I just think it's a great community, and I think it's pretty awesome that I can do shows in a way that is consistent with my values, and I can do that because of you all. I'm going to get all emotional because of you all. So thanks. And I'm really excited for after next week when I have more time so I can do a bunch of things that I think you'll be really excited about and that I'll be excited about. So those are all the spaces. So you can join our Patreon if you like. And I think that's it. I am not going to raid. Normally I raid, but I'm not going to raid because I actually have to rush around and rush off, and I don't like to raid and then not be able to stick around. So that's it. Thank you very much. And I will catch you all on the flip side, and be kind to each other and hang out in our Discord, because I'm going to see if I can find that. I'm going to see if I can find that sort of cyberpunk game that's all about taking down big megacorps. I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it because I know it. I saw one. And if I can find it, I will post it. So that's it, everybody. I will catch you on the flip side. Bye, everyone.